Good evening! I almost did it. I almost made this a perfect transition. But I guess not. How are you tonight? On this fine, fine Sunday evening. Today's Sunday, right? Yeah, Sunday. After yesterday's action, tonight we'll be relaxing, I hope. I'm not actually sure. You finished watching the last stream? Ah! Oh my. You probably know more about what happened in the last stream than I do then. I'm not even sure. We didn't even finish the first chapter. Wow. Alright. I guess it was too long. Let's see. I'm thinking his story will probably have the same length as Ignis's, so it's going to be quite a difference from Rino's. And probably the entire world will be close to distinction again. Maybe not our world, but... Oh. Why did I stop here? I have no clue. Something about the assistant coming by to make sure Karia gets his tests and everything. Oh god, why did I stop here? Another one just is instead of end of chapter. Oh, okay. Then I see. Well then, let's just get started. For a while, Mikado's assistant will be stopping by. Don't be surprised if he enters the shop. Just greet him as normal. While they partook in their dinner, I told everyone about my earlier conversation. I already told Rindu, who isn't here, and the main person concerned, Karia, through my smartphone. Right, I don't trust the assistant. I don't think any of you... I don't think any of you have the right to say that. You're all weirdos. Just being Mikado's assistant has done huge damage to his reputation. Oh, that reminds me, I forgot to ask his name. I should ask next time. Hold on. There we go. Until he tells me, I go with Mr. Assistant for convenience, as I think about calling him this. Oh. I take a glance over at Eel, who had finished eating his pancakes and ice cream parfait. He's quiet right now, but he was responding like normal during dinner. It seems he's gone back to his usual self, so I'm relieved. Just then... Oh. Hello, cat. Hello. Hello. Excuse me. What are you doing? Monsieur Cat, I'm trying to read. Ignis finishes eating his last bite. Everyone takes that as a signal to say their after-meal greetings. Then, everyone except for Eel stands up from their seats to carry their dishes to the kitchen. As usual, Mijie and Canis go to take Eel's items. Or so they try. Eel picks up his plate and avoids the outstretched hands. Oh, he's trying to become... Ah! What's wrong? He would always just smile and thank them for taking it. Eel looks at the... Hey! No fighting! Hey! two cats in my room right now. One under my blanket, and the other apparently thinks it's a fun idea to jump on the one under the blanket. Hey, baby, I'm trying to stream. You don't understand English, right? You don't care. Don't. Hey. Hey. Couldn't you have done this before stream? No. No, we need to bother you right now. He looks at the plate in his own hands and his face stiffens into a somewhat dignified look. Ooh. With an uncertain manner in his hands, he stacks the plates he was using and raises them up, strains to keep them balanced, and walks towards the kitchen entrance. Aha! Hey! You guys. What is this? Just let me stream. At that time, at that moment, a great commotion overtook Enchanted. Oh, don't be. He's trying to become a better person who we can count on. Mikado. Wait, no, maybe we should call Mr. Assistant to do a medical exam. You all babied him so much, and now that he's trying to change. That's true, but this is too sudden, so I'm worried. Oh? Igna's face suddenly stiffened. He pointed his gaze towards Eel's hand as he entered the kitchen. That night, the fallen angel's redemption was punctuated by the shattering of 12 dishes. It thundered beautifully throughout Enchanted. Did it now? Are you kidding me? Alright, I guess we actually managed to finish chapter 1 last time because wow. Because of 5 minutes. I hate it here. Moonlight illuminated the empty road. A man desperately ran along the road, unnaturally devoid of any sign of people. No matter how much he ran, no matter where he fled. No matter how much he shouted, there was nobody to hear of his crisis, nobody to lend him a hand. There was only the man sprinting in the darkness and... Whichever path he chose mattered not. A white shadow descended from above. Considering its height and visible eyes, the only thing for certain was that it resembled a young man. With wings? You're not mentioning the wings. Of course, a normal young man could never soar through the night sky. This fact alone set the youth apart from being comprehensible to man. He was no different from a monster. Only silences returned. When the young man narrowed his eyes, at the man's feet, many layered, complicated patterns appear. Something interrupted the man's whimpered holler. There was a beam of light. It carried the man to another place. The boy checked to see where the man went. Behind him, other white shadows approached and called to him with indifference. That is the same voice the assistant has. So is the assistant an angel? And some kind of clone thing? Without so much as a nod, the white shadows dispersed in silence. The leader gazes upward to the night sky. Then he stops himself. He gazes in the direction of a certain cafe and mutters to himself. Yeah, that's definitely the voice of the assistant. then... Huh. Alright. 1 week after the Great Commotion, for better or for worse, Café Enchanté more or less continued as normal.
有名人の不倫、政治家の横領、根拠のかけらもない金隠しね。
After he showed up alone in his room. Yeah, right? Here, Ignis, the hamburger and juice you ordered. I put hot sauce on it, but if it's still not enough, you can use this Tabasco.
Oh, thank you.
Misha and Keynes, you ordered espresso, right? Also side of lemon pie? Rindu, I assume cafe latte is fine?
ありがとう。ところで、イグニス、君が読んでるのって週刊誌？
Wait, also, I didn't... Hold on. I didn't change the sound back. From when we played Persona 5, so the game is even... excuse me, my nose. It's not very loud. Upon Rino's question, Ignis threw the bright magazine back onto the table.
ああ、気まぐれに買ってみたが、やっぱこういうのはうさんくせえニュースしか載ってねえな。
It's a tabloid, what did you expect?
そのうさんくささが面白いのに、政治家の闇に迫るとか、ちょっと中二っぽいセリフ、今時ネットニュースにも載らないし。
まあ、真偽はともかく、想像力はかきたてられるかもしれんな。
俺、そういうの読んだことないから全然わかんないよ。
Yeah, Kororo has probably read all of them. And as the idle chat bantered on, everyone glanced at a chair in the corner. Eh? There, shrouded in a heavy air, a fallen angel sits grasping his knees. What? Upon Misha's mumbling, everyone nods. That's right, for some reason ever since that day, Il has taken the initiative to ask for ways he could help me in the shop. Oh no. He's probably not much help. You don't have to force yourself, you can just carry one plate at a time.
いえ、それでは計13往復。時間の大きな無駄となります。前回の失敗で重ね方は学習しましたし。
When he tries to carry dishes, he ends up shattering them into dust. Maybe don't talk to him then, because
本当にやるのか？
if you talk to him, his concentration is shattered, like the
無論です。
plates.
あの上段の段ボールを下ろせばよいのですね。その程度のことならば容易に。
What was that noise? Is whoever's in the warehouse okay?
イルが段ボールの山に埋まった。すまんがことね。捜索と救出を手伝ってくれないか？
Yeah. When he helps to organize the storehouse, he knocks things over and makes an even worse mess. Oh no. Maybe get him started with something
雨の気
easy.
配がします。本格的に降られる前に今度こそ。
What?
なぜきちんと取り込んだはずなのに。いる洗濯物はね、洗濯バサミを外しもせず引っ張ったり引きずったらダメなんだよね。
Oh no. When he tried taking in the laundry, not only did he tear the clothes, but he hadn't separated the colors.
だから傾けすぎだっての。飲み物一つまともに注げねえのかてめえは。
Even by preparing a cup of juice, the cup would be knocked down or spilled. Oh no, that's a serious case of being unable to do literally anything. The frequency of the failures was depressing even for Eel. Eel? I approached Eel and speak to him gently.
この打天使に何の用でしょうか。
I sensed an intense amount of self-loathing behind his words. You know about all the cores you've been helping with for a while? I failed too. You don't need to be so gloomy. Everyone messes up.
誰でも。
That's right. At first I messed up all the time, just like you. I'd break dishes or burn the food. Mom and Grandpa kept teaching me, and eventually I became better at doing
そう
chores.
なの。
Chores. Why do I keep saying
あ
chores?
なたも
He raises his head a little and makes eye contact with me. However, there's still no chi in his eyes.
あなたの励ましには感謝します。一理あるとも思います。ですが、
However,
散々物を壊し、汚していたりしているというのに、あなたは私を叱りません。
do you want me to scold you?
もしや怒りを通り越して呆れてしまっている。
Aw. That's not. Before I could refuse, Eel himself shakes his head at me.
いいえ、申し訳ありません。あなたはそのような考えに至る人間ではありませんでしたことね。今すべき手伝いは他に何かありますか？
Right now? Not in particular. I finished with all the orders.
ああ、いる。なら君もこっちに来れば、彼女が焼いてくれたクッキーもある。
Perhaps because he saw Eel frowning, Misha makes a suggestion.
いえ、皆でどうぞ。私は自室に戻ります。
No! Eel refuses and trudges up the stairs. In the wake of his absence, we all look at each other.
どうしちゃったの？俺イルのあんな姿初めて見るんだけど。
Me neither.
俺たちもっていうかそもそもとしてなんでいきなり手伝いなんてした
It's not necessarily cleaning, it's helping out, I think.
公園での騒動を起こした翌日から様子がおかしかったが
No, I can't think of a reason.
ああ、その件なんだけどよ。俺からちょっと話がある。
Do you now? Ignis puckers his lips. He starts talking about something that happened 1 week ago. Are you kidding me? This game gives us a flashback each and every single time, even when we've seen the scene like 5 minutes ago, but this once they don't give us a flashback to the literal conversation. Okay. I see, in other words,
イルが公園の騒動で責任を感じていて
well, he was responsible for what
そ
happened
の
in the
件に
park.
ついて相談を受けたイグニスがとりあえず手伝いをするようアドバイスしたってこと。
なんていうか誰もが善意で動いてるのに結果が惨事っていうのは悲しいね。
We knew solemn words got even Kari and Kororo to not an agreement.
最初は失敗すんのも今までサボってたツケだと思って呆れてたんだけどよ。あれはもう同情するレベルだな。俺らが把握してる以上に生活能力ねえぞ、あいつ。で、何か言うことはあるか？元凶の死んだジジイ含めた
Three amigos of enabling. Ignis narrows his eyes, glaring right at Misha and Canis.
すまない。しかしイルを見ているこうなぜか守護せねばならぬと騎士としての本能が訴えてきてたな。
その俺としてはイルが火事に興味持つ
What, are you his dad?
やらせたらやらせたで危なっかしいというか見てて心配というかね。
Also, why is your voice so?
その甘やかしの結果、ダメージ食らってんのがあいつ自身じゃ意味ねえだろうが。過保護鉄仮面とブラコン魔王め。
すみません。
This began to sound like parents having an argument over how to raise a child. But why?
何が？
Why isn't what's got Eel so bothered? This goes beyond the lack of life experience by now. As Mikado said before, Eel possesses immense intelligence and dexterity.
そういえば俺も前に調子が悪いスマホサクッと直してもらったかも。
Right? Plus he's making a real effort to learn how to help. It just doesn't add up, so Karia and I, along with Korodo, who copied us, scratched our chins and thought. How would Korodo scratch his chin? Oh, okay. Welcome. Ha! I don't trust you. As the bell beneath the front door rings, a hooded man appears. I hurriedly straighten my uniform, heading to the entrance to greet him. It's been a while, Mr. Assistant. You came here to give Karia his medical exam, right?
皇帝だ。
This is awkward. Alright, I never asked for your name.
名
Could
乗
you
る必
tell?
要性を感じない。助手という故障のままでいい。
Bitch! Give me your name. I see. Indifferent as ever, Mr. Assistant goes to an empty room with Karia and returns in less than an hour.
経過は良好。精神身体ともに安定している。長期にわたりこの店から離れなければ体調を崩すこともないだろう。
Good.
そっか。
問題ないのは良かったけど、カリア君、彼に変なことされなかったかい？
血抜かれてねえか？
髪は抜かれていないか？
皮膚とか剥がされてない？
Excuse me?
いや、大丈夫だから。あとミシェルグロい。
なぜ私はあらぬ嫌疑をかけられているのか。
I'm sorry, I guess we're just used to Mikado's unorthodox research
把
method.
握した。抗議の意思を取り消そう。
So even to Mr. Assistant, Mikado is seen as a weirdo.
でさ、ちょっと思ったんだけど、イルのことこの人に相談してみたら。
I don't think they have much info about fallen angels. I mean, I guess we technically now know that he is something that has to do with the angels, but those guys don't. So, huh?
もしかしたら家事とかできないのってイルの体質的なものかもしれないじゃん。
What an interesting condition that would be.
あの変人に話すよりはいいと思うよ。検査だってサクサク済ませてくれたし、助手っていうからには人外の研究者ではあるんだろうし。
I'm a bit hesitant, but if asking him helps solve Eel's concerns, maybe that's
この
best.
場にいない打天使がどうかしたのか。
About that, to tell the truth. Wow, we actually just get served. We just get fade to black scenes and it's explained. Game, what's happening? I serve Mr. Assistant an iced coffee and explain the general situation. After a short period of silence, he offers me a prompt response.
答えは明確だ。それが彼の生態だからだろう。
Huh?
彼にはそのような雑務など必要ない。よって、それを学習し記憶する能力を得ずに生まれたものだと思われる。
What? In other
理
words,
解しやすい比喩を用いるお前たちは、ただの人形に干渉や操作以外の用途を求めるのか。
what? The extreme comparisons that are cold, that drops the temperature inside the shop. However, Mr. Assistant shows no sign of concern and stands from
飲
his
食
seat.
の代金はここに置く。また次の身体検査にて邪魔をしよう。
I mean, I guess I understand what he's saying. It's like, okay, if Eel is made for this specific purpose, then he just doesn't have the capacities to learn anything else. Like if you were to program something, maybe that would have been, well, that also sounds not nice if we were talking about a living being. Hey, please wait a minute. Even I had no idea what I wanted to say. I just wanted to stop him when...
じゃあ宅配便です。淡木琴音さん宛てにお荷物です。サインか印鑑お願いします。
Alright. Huh? Oh, yes. I instinctively go to receive the package. I sign for this prompted and the man leaves without even glancing around the shop. What could this be? I don't remember ordering anything. Considering its size and weight, it was something substantial. Do you think Eel would have bought us a console? The person to dispel my questions was someone I didn't expect.
私からの品だ。
Never mind!
この時刻に届くよう依頼しておいた。
What is it?
先日、我が雇用主帝明がこの店にて無礼を働いたと聞いた。
What? Oh no, you didn't have to. The way he talks and the fact that angels use math makes me fear how the others... Oh no!
詫びるなら今の発言を詫びろって。
I'm sure you heard Ingis. We were doing so well. Windows root had one single typo I saw. The entire root, one typo. Okay. I'm sure you heard Ignis mutter, but Mr. Assistant didn't acknowledge it.
今度こそ失礼する。
The one to break the silence left by him was a shrugging Mishir.
ああ、
As expected from the mood maker,
なん
however.
か嫌な感じ。
We...
ちょっと外の空気吸ってこよう。
His tone is light, casual even, but his face seemed disturbed as he exits out into the backyard.
玄関に塩投げしよう。この国では鬱陶しいやつ追い払うときそうすんだろ。あんのインテリ気取りがこっちの事情をろくに知りもしねえで好き勝手言いやがって。
Man.
気持ちはわかる。
Maybe that's why he's a fallen angel.
彼はあくまで研究者としての見解を述べた。
Maybe that's why they regard Eel as a fallen angel, because he's defective in some way, according to them. No. I understand.
無論我も良い気分ではなかったが、ここで怒りをあらわにしても仕方あるまい。
Huh, there's still a cat here.
そうそう。カリア君の検査もあるし、彼を出禁にするわけにもいかないでしょう。
Yeah, we don't want to ask him anyway. Let's just forget this happened. Naturally, thinking of the conversation irritates me too. In private would be one thing, but I can't get annoyed in front of a customer. Alright, what's this item that Mr. Assistant sent me? My mood instantly improves. I bring the package from this delivery man to the center of the table and open it in front of everyone. While wondering what's inside. What the fuck? Hello? Well, not to sound mean or anything, but like if we get an entire Switch and he talks smack about us once, he can talk smack some more and get us more stuff. The beach, the Joy-Con is yellow. No. Do we have a yellow Joy-Con? Do we have an edition that has a yellow Joy-Con? I'm actually not sure. Hold on. Yeah, but not paired with the blue one. Yeah, of course. The blue one is paired with the red one, but even then which one of them is blue? The left or the right one on the normal Switch? Joy-Con drift is a thing. No, but Japan has in Japan you could, I don't know if you still can, order Joy-Cons in all kinds of colors. So, and this game is definitely set in Japan. So there wouldn't be a problem. Huh. A new game console. Life is love. And an Otome game. About an age. Took me several seconds to comprehend his unthinkable choice. Oh, because we met him.
Hi.
We met the assistant outside of that shop where the commercial for this new game is playing. Or, well, it's not a new game, it's a remake of a classic that Eel was so pumped for. Oh, excuse me?
汚れなき真実の愛。その響き自体が素晴らしい。あの作品こそが今の私を作り上げたのです。
Not only that, it's the one Eel talked about before, the remake of his favorite game. So it came out already, but why an Otome game? That seems strangely out of pocket for Mr. Assistant. Or maybe he thought I was interested because he caught me watching the trailer?
うわ、すごい。よかったじゃん。このハード発売したてで結構品切れ起こしてるんだよ。
when the Switch came out and it was sold out everywhere. Ooh, I remember. Really? It sounds like he went overboard in his apology then.
つうか、差出人があの変人じゃねえか。あいつの財布から出たのか、それと
Oh
も
my
抜き取ったのか。
god.
後者だ。
帝は研究ばっかで金を使うあてもないし、何よりこの間騒がしくしたお詫びなら遠慮はいらないんじゃないかな。
それにこのゲームがあればイルとの話にも花が咲くのでは。
Don't mind me.
落ち込んでいるイルを励ますにはうってつけの品にも思えるぞ。
It's true. Eel expects that I'll be buying this and had been looking forward to discussing it. I guess I accepted gratefully then. I should show Eel. I take the Toma game package out and head to the second floor. Eel, can I come in? As I opened the door, the dour air from earlier had lessened a bit, but...
改めて謝罪を。私はあなたを手伝うどころか余
It's
計な
okay.
迷惑をかけてしまって。
You're trying. I suspected Eel is still brooding. Not at all, I don't feel trouble. Because, you know, I've learned a lot of things from everyone too. Actually, it was kind of fun and refreshing to teach you something for once. Despite my gesture of kindness, it couldn't penetrate Eel's cloud and he seemed reluctant to relent.
ですが
I feel us begin to go in circles, so I change the subject. Alright, here, look at this. I bought... Well, not quite. I just happened to look into it. I can't wait to play the game you hold in such high esteem. I interrupt him with an awkward performance and hold the Atoma game up to show him. Suddenly, Eel's eyes gleam.
それは九段の乙女ゲームでは私も今日届く予定だったのです。ですがまさかあなたが先に手に入れているとは。
Yeah, well, I was planning to buy it much later in reality. It seems useless to elaborate. I'm looking forward to playing it. Believe it or not, this will be my first Otome game.
きっとわからないことも多いでしょうから。攻略において困ったことがあれば、ぜひ私を頼ってください。全ルート完璧に記憶していますので。
All of them? Wow. Eel taps the cover art. At the end of his finger, I see a handsome
私
young
とし
man.
てはこちらの青年のルートが特におすすめです。彼には秘密が非常に多く、進めれば進めるほどそのミステリアスさに引き込まれますよ。
I see. Then maybe I do my best to reach his ending first. When I say this, Eel beams
クリ
with
アした
joy.
暁には感想を共に語り合いましょう。きっ
Okay.
とリメイクに伴いイベントやグッズもたくさん出るはずです。想像するだけで胸が高鳴ります。
Eel seems generally ecstatic that I expressed an interest in Otome games. At last, the melancholic fog dissipates. In addition to Eel's gestures, his bright eyes and expression convey sincere happiness. It was a sight to behold. Cute! I split my thoughts, but not without a giggle.
可愛いですか？この青年は
No,
どち
you're
らかというと
But you're gushing
美し
about
いと
your,
評される造形では
about your favorite game. No, never mind, just talking to myself. Regardless, I appreciate seeing Eel cheerful once more. His baby! After chatting with Eel, I stowed a new Otome game in my bedroom, then... Where will she even play it? Do we have a TV? Hold up. Do we even have a TV? No, never mind. You don't need a TV to play the Switch. Just play it in handheld mode. Phew, we passed through the gate safely again. I was finally growing used to passing through the gate to meet you and I take a breath.
忘れ物はないか、ことね。女王のいる場所とゲートは離れているゆえ、
It's
安心
fine.
地へ戻るに
I
は
guess
時間がかかるぞ。
this is actually the first route where we visit another country. Yeah, another country, another world again. No, I'm fine, thanks. Off in a corner of this natural landscape, I stand up to the side holding a fairly heavy bag with one arm. Contained within are vials and cakes. If you have time, I would love to invite you to meet you once more for a tea party. Keynes delivered this message, and since Titania invited me here, I brought some gifts. There also came with me a Keynes who hailed from Meteor and one other person.
ことね。バッグを貸してください。荷物持ちぐらいなら私にもできますので。
Don't drop it. Okay, please do. There are drinks inside, so be careful. I can at least accompany you, so Eel had insisted after I informed him of our trip to meet you. He gives me a nod, then carefully takes the bag from me.
では参ろう。ティタニアもお前たちのライフを心待ちにしているはずだ。
That's an interesting combination. Kins also appeared to be gently watching over him.
ティタ
ようこ
ニア
そメディオへ。
ベニャ
もはや何度目か数えるのもバカらしいほどの気軽な訪問。
I have
正
missed
直
you.
辟易していますが、
はい、ありがとうございます。あなたはいつも我々を友好的に出迎えてくれますね。
いえいえ、これも僕に任されたことですか。
I feel very
どん
welcome
な
here.
に嫌な役目であろうとも。
そうですか。その嫌な役目とやらが何かはわかりませんが、熱心なことです
I
ね。
think if you put these two in a room and locked it, Avinia would go insane. Would absolutely lose it. Like, amazing. He made Vinia go quiet.
皮肉や嫌味が全く通じないイールはまさしく奴の天敵なのだろうな。
The interaction of two different realms seems to have created unthinkable interactions. Well,
よもやベンニーヤのあのような顔が見れるとは招待した甲斐があったというものじゃ。
it
優
has.
しいな。
Last time I saw you, we killed the tree you're connected to. It's been a while, Titania. I'm so sorry for making you wait.
よいよい、そちらの事情は聞いておる。不可解なホールのせいで随分と苦労したようじゃの。カヌス、案内ご苦労。これよりわしと琴音は茶会を行うが、お主はどうする？
我にはしようがあるゆえ、席を外させてもらう。
Oh, personal business. Killing fairies?
わかった。
Definitely killing fairies. Candice gives a bow and leaves. Yeah. I pour coffee I brought into a wooden cup. After I hand it to Titania, she closes her eyes and seems to enjoy the aroma wafting up from the cup.
香りだけでわかるぞ。また一段と腕を上げたの。
Oh,
なんだかんだでわしもアンシャンテのテイクアウトとやらの常連。
that's right.
ねえねえ、そのコーヒーっていう飲み物、私たちにも飲める？とっても美味しそう。花の蜜とは違う香りがするわ。
Time to get some fairies addicted to coffee.
コーヒーに興味を持っているようですが、カヌスやあなたのような人型以外の妖精も飲食が可能なのですか？
未知の味に驚くことはあるじゃろうが、特に問題はない。
Fairies on a coffee high.
花の蜜も吸ってあるし。
They don't even take sips. You just literally take like one drop and give it to them, and they're like, I have slept in 500 days. In that case, would you like a little? It's better if you drink it black, though. Maybe you should add milk and sugar.
では、専用のコップを用意するとしよう。
Ooh. With the wave of Titania's hand, small cups appear on the table in an instant. No matter how many times I saw it, magic was just too unbelievable to behold. Espresso cup full of coffee and I don't even need the wax anymore. Goodbye, friends. I'm gone. I had milk and sugar. It had more than usual. Then, okay, I go ahead one out to everyone.
では私も手伝いを。
No.
待て待て、打天使のいるよ。そなたまで
Don't
言っ
drop
て
the
しまった
cups.
ら、わ
Sorry, Eel, but there you have it. Stay and chat with Titania.
あなたがそういうのでしたら。
He looks a little discontented, but my lips curl into a smile. I walk around handing out coffee, chatting with the fairies who are gathering around. Aww. It's nice. The fallen angel watches Kotone, at which Titania smirks. Wow, even Titania noticed? From the, what, 2 times they've seen each other before? Are you kidding me?
Eh, 構いませんよ。相互理解というものですね。
そう、まさしくそれじゃ。では早速、わしの前に来てほしい。
Yeah, eye level.
目線も合わせてくれるとありがたい。
Heeding Titania's beckoning, Il bends politely before her, resting on his knees as he meets her eye level.
これで良いのですか？
感謝する。
While saying this, Titania peers into Eel's eyes.
なるほど。ベンニーヤの皮肉が通じぬのも納得じゃ。
Why? What are you seeing, Titania? What do your fairy eyes see?
そなた、本当に無垢な瞳をしておるの。
It is as though they are untainted by all the goods and evils of this world. Even the small fairies of meteor-like eyes so clear of vivacity. Exactly what kind of life would one have to lead to acquire such a gaze? Curiosity begins to swell in Titania's heart. Much like she had once done to Kotone, she pulls Eel's cheeks toward her with both hands. I'm not sure whatever it is you're doing is a good idea. She stares deep into his heart, pressing her forehead into his. Oh no. I don't like this. The fairies watch excitedly as the milk forms pattern as it dissolves into the coffee. Something so simple as preparing a simple drink was amusing to these magical creatures. Oh, just be careful not to get burned, okay? And if it's too bitter, I'll add more milk. As I finish handing out coffee to the last fairy, suddenly a strained voice rings out from Titania. Huh? Behind me, I turn to face the back of the hall. Eel has fallen onto his backside, and Titania's trembling as she looks down at him, her face pale. Venia and I rush over at virtually the same time. Eel, what happened? I also asked my question right after, and Eel slowly stands up, however...
頭突きをされ怯えられ最終的には突き飛ばされまして。
What does that mean?
さあ、私にもよく
わからぬとは言わせません。愛想な顔をしているからと油断した僕がバカでした。貴様一体。
待て、ベニーヤ、誤解じゃ。今のは好奇心に身を委ねたわしの自業自得。
I guess she saw something inside him that he doesn't know about.
イルにはそう何の落ち度も悪意もない。
本当ですか？
なんなら周囲を飛んでいた妖精たちに尋ねてみるがよい。
All the little fairies flying around Titania nod in unison. They corroborated her story. Jesus Christ. Why is face... While their face still looks unconvinced, they seem to understand. Vinya's clear vigilance is lifted. Eel tilts his head in puzzlement. I don't even know what happened. It seems like Eel didn't do anything after all. What exactly could have frightened Titania so much? Yeah. Afterwards, upon Kano's return, we decide to end today's tea party. Anyway, Titania, see you again. Sorry for intruding, Vinya.
お土産の蜜もありがとうございます。こちらは蜂蜜ラテに活用しましょう。
Honey, honey, honey. Yeah, that sounds delicious. I'll try making that tomorrow.
陛下、本当に大丈夫ですか？おかんは優れませんが、やはりあの打天使が。
違うと言うておろう。そなたはよそ者に対して本当に疑い深い。それよりもレンニーヤよ。
何でしょう？
先ほどわしがイルに行った行為と反応は断じて他の者に伝えるな。無論琴音とカヌスに対しても。
はあ、陛下のご命令でしたら。
もしわしが見間違えていないのだとしたら、あれはなんと哀れな魂を持つものなのだ。
What do you mean?
ということで荷物も落としませんでしたし、お供は大成功でした。
Hello? The next day, Ignis and Rindu both happen to visit the shop. While sipping a freshly made honey latte, Il speaks proudly of his successful visit to Medio.
3くらいできて当たり前だっつ。
まあ進歩といえば進歩だと思うけどね。そういえばミシェルとカヌスは？
Weather's nice, so they went out for a walk at the park.
気持ちはわからなくもないけど、監視対象があっちこっち出かけるのはちょっぴり不安もあったり。
執念は苦労が多いな。
Is that even related to middle age? Well, Rindu makes his objections. Talk of the weather reminds me of something. Did I get a memory wipe? Did Il get a memory wipe? I don't know. Maybe it's just locked somewhere. Something that happened to him. Or maybe he has a split personality. If we go by that one time Canis walked into his room and the air about him was so different, I don't know. Oh, I almost forgot. That reminds me that today I plan to hang everyone's sheets today. Yeah, no, that's definitely 2 days. Luckily it's still morning. I collect them all, even from the vacant rooms. Just then I catch a glance of Il. As expected, he starts to squirm, indicating his desire to help. However, likely due to the memory of his failures, it seems he can't ask it himself. In that case... Il, would you like to help?
Hi!
He's so cute. He's like a puppy. Okay, all the dust's out, so it's all prepared. I look up while thinking about the laundry robe strung tightly in the backyard.
ことね、私は何をすれば？
Let's see, all that's left to do is hang the sheets. You're the taller one, so you get the big ones. Maybe I'll entrust her with the sheets from Ignis Canis in the empty rooms. The big sheets are hard to hold up and they block our view. Could you handle that?
任せてください。飛翔しつつ落とすように紐へ引っ掛ければ引きずらずに済みますから。
I see. I classified it as a shortcut, but I guess that's fine. Just be careful not to let the wind carry them away. Oh. After Il hangs the largest sheets in his fallen angel form, he returns to his normal form, and together we work to hang the other sheets. Be sure not to just hold one spot and wrinkle it up. After pulling it taut, could you hang it on a string?
シワがつかぬように貼ってから。これで合っていますか？
Yeah, like that. Then you secure the ends with laundry clips and that's the end. For now, Il's work is going well, but as for my part... Alright, there. Considering my height, it's pretty hard to hang up the white thick sheets. I have little place to give Il advice, I think to myself and smile bitterly. What? My premonition was spot on. I ended up stepping on the end of the sheet as I spread it out. No! Without enough time to release my hold of the sheets, my body shakes and I lose balance. Ah! Just as I'm about to fall on the ground, Eel catches me. I must have worried him. He peers into my eyes with a sharp look of concern. Thanks, I'm fine thanks to you. As for the sheet I was holding, the edge I stepped had dirtied. It's otherwise fine, but despite catching the full weight of my body, Eel's body isn't even slightly shaking in strain. Eel's pretty slender, but also tall. Just gonna continue, like lying in his arms and checking him out, like, you're pretty slender. Where are your muscles? Reminded me of the time he whisked me away while we flew on that date. In times like these, he's just as reliable as everyone else. Yeah, right? He is reliable. I unexpectedly started thinking of such things when... He cradles me in his arms and happily points to the center of the backyard. Ah, there's the properly hung up sheets swaying pleasantly in the wind. The ones I asked Eel to do. See, he can do it. If you tell him, if we tell him how to do it properly, he can. I stand back up and go to check on them. They aren't wrinkled and in proper shape. Yeah, all good, a perfect score. I turn back to him and smile. Yay! Eel's wings stretched out seemingly involuntarily. Wait, didn't he just change back to his normal form like 3 seconds ago? He gently grasped my hand and... Ha! Is Eel using some sort of magic? Before I realized it, my body floated gently in the air beside him. Eel! I'm guided by his hands. After rising up past the roof of Enchanté, we complete our ascent. We stand atop the roof together, seeing the ripples of light eke through the clouds. Not too unlike the night sky on our date. What a surprise! I gaze Excuse me? I gaze concertedly at Eel, taken by surprise at the spectacle of it all. Yay! I did something the right way. His hands holding mine are trembling slightly. I finally realized something. I'm sure he took more happiness from this success than I could ever imagine. Enough for him to subconsciously fly up into the air. Among a gentle wind, he flaps his wings once more. Aww.
あなたのためにできることはないかと。今までは自分の周囲のすべてを他者に任せきりで、けれどそれでいいと思っていたのです。それが効率的だから、私は何もできないから。でも最近の私はどうしてか、それをひどく虚しく感じていた。皆があなたのために何かをなせるのに、私だけが何もできないのは嫌だと。
Eel's eyes are straightforward. They also appear to be slightly teary.
多くの失敗を重ねました。きっと今日のこれもまだ偶然に過ぎないのかもしれません。でもそれでも私は今この瞬間が嬉しい。私があなたのために何かができたこの瞬間が。
Yeah, you did it.
As he smiles at me, I grasp his hands back and say, Yeah, thank you, Eel, for your effort and your feelings. I'm thrilled to hear it. I can tell you how proud I am that you decided to change on your own, because I'm sure your world was already complete in a way. Yep, ever since my grandpa was around, you had Misha and Kane supporting you. You had so many people to help you. I don't blame you for how you were. But you broke out of it yourself, despite all the failures, despite what others said, and despite feeling the burden of guilt. You weren't content to rest on your laurels and stay hidden in your own little world. Those actions of yours, from my point of view, it's even better than traveling to another realm. It's one thing to talk about making major changes to your life, however, actually doing them requires major decisiveness and action. As I tell him,
「そのようなことは、私は今まで皆がやっていたことをようやく自主的にしただけで。」
He's so cute. A little embarrassment shows itself despite his effort to hide it. I don't know if this is the right way to put it, but lately you've become totally human, Eel.
人間らしいですか?
Yeah, to be honest, when I first met you, you were hard to read, which troubled me. But now it's the opposite, I smile and tell him. As of late, you've taken the initiative to do all kinds of things, and you've made new experiences. Each one seems to have affected you. If it was you before, I doubt you would have been so moved by accomplishing such a little task. Oh, was it actually rude to say that an angel's like a human? At my concern, he slowly shakes his head in response. In the sunlight, his beautiful green-white hair is... Green?! Green, white hair, sways and shines.
いえ
His hair is many colors, but green wouldn't have been one of them. That, like, if I were to describe him to you, I would have said his hair is white, grey, whatever, but certainly not green. What? Eels, his lips, his eyes, his cheeks. Oh no, baby! He's so cute! I'll become like a flower in full bloom.
A baby! A baby!
そんなことはありません。私が人間に近づけたというならば、それはとても嬉しい。
In this moment, he had the most beautiful smile I had seen in the whole world. It's different from his usual well-ordered and gentle smile. It's an enchanting, shining, beautiful smile that seems to contain his thoughts
自分
themselves.
が誰よりも空虚で、周りとの溝が深いことは薄々分かっていたのです。
Oh?
人間に最も近い姿なのに、人間に最も遠い存在なのだと何度も思い知ってきた。自分からそれを埋めるのは不可能で、だから周りが妥協してくれるのに甘え、諦めていたのです。でも今、あなたはそんな私を人間に、自分に近いと言ってくれた。
The temperature of his hands wrapping around mine rises.
私
Oh
は
my god!
自分に変化が起きたことが嬉しくてたまらない。そしてその変化をもたらしてくれたのは間違いなくあなたなのですことね。
Yay! Me. Eel
あ
nods.
なたは私をそういうものだからと割り切ることはしなかった。
Hmm.
私の世界をアンシャンテという小さな箱庭から広げてくれた。一つ一つを丁寧に教え、私が変わることを諦めないでいてくれた。
All of his joy seemed to well up all at once. His words asserted and delivered with confidence were poignant.
私はもっともっとあなたの前であなたのために変わっていきたい。
Okay.
あなたに頼られる存在になりたいのです。ああ、私のこの内心を何と表現すればよいのでしょう。普段からたくさんの乙女ゲームにたくさんの心を語る言葉に触れているのに、それでもあなたへの感謝を表す言葉がうまく表現できないのです。
His smile, his kindness. Ah, what a wonderful smile. I naturally start to smile myself, with a tad of bashfulness, but thoughts still within me. Eel, I like your smile. I couldn't hold back the desire to express it, so I say it without hesitation. However, as the words escape my mouth, a wave of embarrassment crashes over me. That's why, going forward, let's keep trying all kinds of things, Eel.
はい。
Yay! Like that, I said such an innocuous line to try to hide my embarrassment. Yay! Now the world will end! For some reason or another. Wah! That same day in the evening. Oh, I booted up the Atoma game I had received from Mr. Assistant and began to play it. Well, not quite. I didn't really play it. I just got through the opening movie. Kododa sits in my lap staring at the game screen seemingly out of deep interest. Something about its story struck me. The genre of this game... What? It's fantasy. A world where magic is perfectly normal. The main character owns a generally good store. In other words, you're the heroine. Famous magicians and royalty, among others, come to visit. Players can romance men of all statuses. Men. Men with an E. Several men. Ah! She's a shop owner, just like me. We're pretty similar. Maybe I'll be able to relate. Ah, the first choice appeared. This will raise affection level with someone, won't it? Without hesitation, I picked a choice that I think would raise affection level with the demure young man Il had recommended to me. Given his many different statuses, he's a... I did it! That raised his affection level, I think! You could go and... You could just go online and look at the walkthrough. Maybe. Kododo makes a fist and takes up a guts pose with me. Before I started, I wondered if I would struggle to play it correctly. In fact, I thought I'd totally suck. I had various concerns, but actually playing it wasn't too bad. I mean, it is a visual novel. There's not too much you can do wrong in a visual novel most of the time. At this rate, I'll be able to talk about Otome games as much as he does. When I begin to think of Il... Suddenly, I recall his smile, his excitement for having changed, and the way he credited me. How Il smiled at me like a flower gently blooming. A smiling face of his I'd never seen that didn't seem like his. As I think it over, I start to feel... Oh? I like it. The pure, genuine goodwill. When I received it so directly... They're just going to keep showing us the CG, aren't they? Just then my hand stopped. Kododo began to tap me with his arms as if something was off. Ha! Ahaha! Of course I was talking about his smile, you know! Another console would have been difficult with just a laptop. How do you mean? I started making excuses to Kododo without much thought. I coughed in a forced way to clear my throat, then returned my attention to the Otome game. But this person, just as Il said, is full of mystery. He won't even say his name, so they just call him Mysterious Young Man the whole time! There's no TV in the room. Yeah. But she could have... Eh? I mean, she could look up a walkthrough on the laptop, and she's playing the game in handheld mode anyway. But or she could use her phone. Will he tell me if I get closer? But I think I would enjoy the real feeling, the process of growing closer. I'm feeling more motivated. I'll do my best to complete it. Never mind. Okay. Several days later, take a break from playing the... What? You've not been playing the game for like several days straight, right? Ew, I'm finally out of Enchanté. For once I wasn't leaving just to restock ingredients, my own private outing. It seems I'm not the only one who had a big change in feelings after that matter.
なぜみなして妨害をするのですか彼女が出かけるのなら私も同行しますだから連れはいらねえって本人が言ってんだろ
そうそう荷物持ちを任されたならともかく女の子の買い物を邪魔するのは無粋だよ
おほ
ーことねイルは我らが抑え込んで今のうちに出かけると
Okay, then I'm going now.
嫌です待って私を置いていかないでくださいことねことね
I love this face of his with the sparkles and the tears. His sad cries elicits a feeling of guilt from me. Il was, according to Ignis, like a baby bird following its parent and had opened his heart to me. His parent. His parent, huh? It left me with a hollow feeling. Like, being totally honest, I would rather be looked at in a different light. No, why am I acting so full of myself? I shake off my idle thoughts and start walking in search of a boutique with next season's trends available. Who the fuck? Huh? A passerby calls my name, so I stop to turn around. Ah! She's a little older than I remember, but I wouldn't fail to recognize her. There I see a friend from high school being with a bright smile. Well, she's never going to show up again if she doesn't even have a face. Sprite. I'm surprised too. When did you move to the city? Man, if I were to see someone from high school, I would just pretend I did not actually see them. Delighted by our reunion, we join hands and bounce excitedly. Yeah, of course. Well, there goes any and all relation I have ever felt towards Kotona, I guess. No, I'm kidding. After getting takeout coffee from a cafe, we leisurely sit down on a bench in a nearby park. Judging from the aroma and strong acidity, these beans must be based from Kilimanjaro. A brand of coffee bean, a variety cultivated around Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania. It is widely known for its sweet aroma and acidity. I look down at my blended coffee in my paper from the perspective of a cafe owner. I take a sip for research, thinking it might have a more nuanced flavor profile. Oh, it's just a guess. I guess I drink so much coffee that I'm developing a palate for it. Yes! As I move to ask her how she knows, I remember that some of her relatives are entrepreneurs, so I consulted her. Yeah, of course. If I tell everyone beforehand, they can either hide or pretend, so there shouldn't be any issue. Decent, I guess. I make ends meet thanks to some regulars. There are 5 men, I guess. Yeah, why are you guys gleaming like that? I nearly choke on my coffee. Into them as in, I didn't take after my grandpa's work to do things like that. That's... Ah! If I wanted to, I could derail the topic or dodge the question, but I'm not really sure what it means yet, but there's someone in my life, but I can't quite place what it is we've got. Maybe I had a subconscious desire to speak with someone about these feelings that suddenly sprouted inside me. I give in and start slowly confessing it. It really is just someone I'm curious about. He's a bit off from normal people and clumsy. At first I felt like I couldn't just abandon him. I thought it was cute, but I'm aware that I'm turning bright red. But once I started talking, I couldn't stop. And things heated up. He made such a lovely smile, and realized he's a man too. Ooh, the straightforwardness and purity. Something about it intrigues me. Or so I think sometimes, maybe. The silence is embarrassing. At least make some sort of comment. But it's nothing like wanting to date or anything. It's not a desire like that. Our relationship doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. Finally, despite her saying nothing, I start making excuses. Well, she was puzzled at first. After hearing my answer, she seems to nod. You don't need to! She's holding her thumb up and making a sly face at me, and I shout back in response.
コーヒー飲むなら普通にあんたのとこに行けばよかった。
Yeah. True, next time you're around, let me know. I'll welcome you. And if I'm too busy during the day, you can drop by after closing
わかっ
time.
た。私はしばらくこっちにいるから、何かあったらそっちも連絡してね。
It's been so long since I've seen her that I couldn't help from talking alone. It seems I've been thinking about eel more than I anticipated. How interesting. Huh, how interesting. After a slight detour, I finished shopping and the sun had set. The air seemed strangely moist. The weather report said it would be clear all day. To check again, I take out my smartphone to open the weather app. Oops, I accidentally opened the SNS app next to it. Wait, which one of these apps is the weather app? Isn't weather the one top row? Like, second to last? Or like the second from the right, third from the left? It's not the calculator next to it, but an SNS app? Doesn't matter, no it doesn't. Highway time. And posture check. Okay. I hope you check your posture with me whenever you give me a posture check. It's important. I guess I can just look there for weather information. I casually open up the search menu. Because of my current location, a popular news article from my area is pinned to the top. Normally I just ignore such things, but mysterious disappearances. Ah, there we go, finally. My eyes honed in on these strange words. That reminds me, Ignis was reading an article about that earlier. I get a little curious, so I squint at the fine print. In this part of town, right where I stood, in other words in the area near Enchanté, there were several mysterious disappearances occurring. It's the disappearance of people with no prior warning or trace, as though it's the work of a god. Ahaha! There are currently around 5 victims. They were last spotted at night before allegedly being abducted in back alleys. For some reason they never came back out and vanished completely. That's right, without leaving a trace. There are already multiple search requests registered with the police. There's a chance it was overblown, as it wasn't reported on TV yet. This town in this area at night. I look up into the starry night sky and quietly put my smartphone away. I wonder why I'm suddenly getting scared. While mysterious disappearance has an unrealistic sound to it, it's still true that the people have gone missing in this area, and that fans my fear. Luckily, there are still a lot of people around. I should go home before it gets really dark. Maybe because it's dinner time, the streets get less and less populated, and I can hear my footsteps echo as I walk. No, that's not possible. I only just read that news. It wouldn't happen to me right after. Yes, it would, because you're in a game. I hear a faint shout. It's a woman's voice, I think. The source of the voice was in the back of a dark barrow alley, stretching between nearby buildings. For a moment, the darkness makes me hesitate. But I heard it. If I ignored it and went home, it would definitely bother me. I hold my smartphone in one hand so I can call for help right away if need be, and leapt into the alley. Just call for help first. Relying only on what I heard, I checked the surroundings, but where'd they go? Is anyone there? I try calling out, but as expected, there's no reply. Just then, slightly. I noticed something at my feet that stands out a little. What could this be? What the fuck? I know it's something. I can't describe it. Considering the feeling from my fingers, I can tell it's something soft, but due to the faint light engulfing it, the outline is too blurry to tell. There's no sign of anyone. I rushed over pretty quick, so I figured I'd at least see a silhouette of if something was happening here. So then what was that shout? This area has a lot of bars. Maybe the rowdy voices of people echo through here? Maybe? I don't know the truth, but there was no mistaking this is a dark place. In fact, if I stayed here, I wouldn't be able to defend myself. Without thinking about it, I put something I picked up in my book. They're really going to call it something? At least say the something I picked up in my bag and decided to leave in a hurry. Maybe it's a soul. It's glowing, faintly, and whoever was screaming is gone. Huh? Eel! At the same time I emerge from the alley, Eel comes swooping down from the night sky, and only slightly after, Canis appears from the path to Enchanté. That was shocking. Did you come all the way here like that?
はい、夜も遅いのであなたを迎えに行く許可をもらいました。きちんと姿を隠す術をまとってきましたので、
そもそも空を飛ばなければ良い話なのだ。すまぬ。一刻も早くあなたに会いたかったようでな。咎めないでやってほしい。
It's fine. In fact, I feel relieved. I was a little scared to go home by myself.
はい。何かあったのですか?
I give the two of them a brief explanation of the incidents in the news.
神隠しですか。奇妙な事件もあるものですね。ですが、今は私がいます。何かあってもあなたを必ず守りますから。心配。
Oh. I'm sure. I rely on you. But just in case, we decide to hurry back to Enchanté to avoid such an incident. Yeah. Alright, Eel, about that game. I started playing through it seriously.
おお、ついに。いかがです？現在の進捗と感想は。
I'm still not in any individual's route. I think I'm just about to start though. You put it best. It's certainly interesting. The world setting is well put together, and I can easily empathize with the heroine. And right now, I'm pursuing the character you recommended to me.
彼ですか。彼は。ネタバレは厳禁ですね。早くあなたと感想を語り合いたいというのに、ままならないものです。
Me when I tell my friends to play games I like. With a lively conversation, I walk beside Eel all the way home. Candice was walking a step behind, warmly watching over us, I think. I'm back, Kororo.
Baby!
When I return to my room, I do a dancing turn with the welcoming Kororo in my arms. Then I sit on my bed and point to the game console I left. When I started talking about this game, Eel smiled gleefully again. For Eel's sake too, I must hurry and finish it. Like yesterday, I booted the game with Kororo in my lap. It seems Kororo has taken a liking to the setup too. Let's see, the story so far was... Yeah, what was the story so far? Give us a... Ooh! Nice. Just before entering the individual route, the heroine fails a job entrusted to her and becomes depressed. She sits miserably in the park. There appears... Oh! The elegant yet esoteric young man smiles softly, but this person on closer inspection... He speaks politely and is super mellow. He kind of reminds me of Eel. Wait. Hold up. No, hold on. Eel said he wouldn't be who he is today if it weren't for this game. Do you think he just literally took his personality from this guy? Like, if he was, I don't know, some empty husk before that doesn't have a personality? Maybe I'm thinking too much, and it's not at all this, but... As I smile over it, I slowly press the confirm button. It's possible! No! Oh. What? Huh? I feel like I've heard that line before. Maybe? Uh-oh. I don't like where this is going. Shortly before Enchanté's opening time, before the owner could make his way downstairs, 5 of the shop's regulars surround the table with serious expressions. I mean, I have to be. The subject concerns the rumors which had circulated as of late, all about the mysterious disappearance incident.
朝っぱらからよくわかんねえ話だな。つうか、異世界人外どうこうっても、アンシャンテ自体には関係ねえだろ。
まあね、直接的な関与がないのはもちろん僕も分かってるよ。ただ、妙な術式の痕跡があってね。できればミシェルといる術の専門家である君たちに解析の協力を依頼したいんだ。
Mishi and Eel exchange a look, prompting Eel to lift his eyebrow. While Enchant is unrelated, the disappearances took place not too far from it.
ホールの発生が原因ならば神隠しと言われるゆえんもわかるが、そうでないとなればいささか不可解ではある。それに万が一だが彼女自身が標的になった場合も考えると
You should prepare for the worst. Each regular contemplates his thoughts themselves.
おっと、何にせよ、まずは彼女にも話を通した方がいいだろうね。
ことね、おはようございます。今日は起床が遅かったのですね。
Oh no.
どうしました？私の顔に何かついていますか？
What's wrong? Sorry, Eel, I'm just half asleep. Also, why is everyone here? Even Rinno's here so early.
ああ、それは
What do you mean, half asleep? Thanks to the regulars, I was up to speed.
実は昨べもここから近い大通り周辺の路地裏で起きたみたいなんだ。姿を消したのは若い女性。時刻は20時ぐらいかな。
The time and place takes me back. A bag. Yep. Don't tell me. Could that have been the scream I overheard?
なんだよ。まさかお前、その場にいたのか？
I didn't see it directly, but I thought I heard a scream. I thought it was my imagination, so I didn't look into it.
仕方あるまい。何も知らないのであれば、噂は噂に過ぎぬのだから。
そうですね。仮に女性が姿を消す瞬間に間に合っていたとして、あなた一人で解決できるとは限りません。むしろ一緒に行方不明になっていたかもしれません。そのような可能性、想像するだけで恐ろしい。
For now, I save my regrets for later. I had to focus on the situation and look out for any possible clues. When Rindo asked me to elaborate, possible clues. Just then I recalled a certain item. Please wait just a minute. Yeah, we still have that thing. I hurried to my own room and returned back down with my bag. Last night I picked something up at the scene, but I don't really know what it is.
何かわかんねえ。なんだそりゃ。どう？
I couldn't quite see it. It didn't have a shape. It was hard to make out.
見えない。ますますよくわかるな。
Well, it would be faster to show than to explain, so I begin to rummage through my bag. Wait, but inside of my bag is dark. Did that mysterious light vanish? With little joy, I searched through the bag with just the shop's lighting and the feeling of my fingers. Then, I think this is it. I found something white in my bag. Without knowing what the item was, I pull it out and go to hand it over to Rindo.
Huh?
Uh-oh.
これって
With the movement of Rindo's hand, it glimmers in the sunlight. In exchange for its diminishing glow, however, we see that it is a single white, soft and lovely feather. This appearance is related to non-humans. The strange object found at the scene was a stark white feather. All of us realized at once. An angel's feather. Everyone's gaze focused on Eel.
いる。もしや何か知っている。
How would he? Canis asks in a low voice. In that moment, Eh? Eel clutches his chest and collapses on the spot. Excuse me?
おい、どうした？
We hurriedly call to him, but he doesn't answer us. With raised nails, he tears at his chest. Normally, beautiful songs flow through those full, beautiful lips, but now there were only dry, disorderly gasps.
リンド、羽をかくて。
わかった。
Rindo follows Misha's demand and stows the feather in his pocket. As though he's forgotten how to breathe, Eel continues to struggle. I quickly stoop down, rubbing his back as he agonizes. Eel, calm down, slow down, take deep breaths. What the fuck? After rubbing him for a while, I start petting at regular intervals to remind him of the breathing rhythm. As I repeat this, while still slight, Eel began to normalize. However, he's still in no condition to talk. Head? While holding Eel, Canis marched to the second floor. The once noisy cafe interior flips and a dull silence filled the room. After checking to make sure Eel is out of sight, Rindo once again takes the feather out. What could have happened to Eel? A pure white angel feather, its beauty befits the word divine, but it was almost too beautiful. Almost like it was sterile, too cold to be admired in any kind of intimate way. Oh boy! Bye bye! Timing right, when Canis opened the door, I take the opportunity to leap inside alone. I shut the door. Then I place a powerful barrier on it to ward off any guests. I'm just guessing. This was supposed to say guest. Perhaps out of heeding my begging, I hear Canis' footsteps grow faint as he walked away. Without turning on the lights, I clutch my chest once more and sit feebly on the floor. Calm down, it's simply a coincidence. I desperately tell myself as letting down my guard would stop my breathing. However, what if it's not a coincidence? What if the angels are related to the mysterious disappearances? And if by chance they come in contact with Enchanté? If Kotone becomes involved, the girl who adores my smiling face and my identity, what if they tell her? I ponder the future in panic. I can tell I've gone pale without looking in the mirror. What entered my view was the presence of a certain thing in this room. Here, finally, truly at last, I realized that I've committed a terrible blunder. What? I can see my own face, but I touch my cold hand to my cheek. My trembling fingertips check the parts composing my face one by one. Both the eyelids, the cheeks, and the mouth. What do I look like right now? What kind of face am I making? Isn't it distorted? Isn't something missing? Kotone said she likes my smiling face. Then... Hello? No. No more need for assumptions. Without reason, my head says such a warning. First, I must take countermeasures in response to the current crisis. To do that... What the fuck? What's going on? Hello? After that, I tried visiting Eel's room several times with Misha and the others, but for some reason he staunchly refuses anyone entry, so we can't even see his condition. For the time until Eel comes down, we entrusted the mysterious disappearance investigation to Rindo. It's late. Misha's gone to the demon world. Canis and Ignis went out shopping for things possibly useful to nurse Eel. As for me, it's been a while, but I opened the book Grandpa left me. A section on angels. Here it is. I trace along the letters with my finger, following the text and illustrations. Envoys of God, a race brimming with benevolence, watches over humanity. That's not too far from the image I always had of them. In that case, it seemed unlikely that such beings would get wrapped up in kidnappings. But seeing how an angel's feather was after the scene, it can't be a coincidence. And moreover, I'm concerned about Eel's terrified reaction. I noticed my game console left forgotten on top of the table. That's right, I left it in sleep mode. I can't really focus like this, I should power it off completely. As the thought comes to mind, I reach for the game console. But the moment I wake it from sleep mode, the Otome game I was playing before begins to play automatically. Alright, I had it on auto mode. Before I can press the stop button. The mysterious young man's line plays. Alright, the heroine had been attacked by an animal in the forest and he had saved her. As I switch to power up, I think to myself. The more I play, the more I see ill in this guy. It went beyond the surface observation. His expressions, tones, even remarks. Wait, could he be copying his character of the respect because he likes him so much, maybe? I wouldn't know for sure without asking, but that seems like something he would do. How like Eel. I put the gaming book away in the shelf and psych myself up a little. For now, maybe I'll make a float or something to help soothe Eel's nerves. As I think there's an exit my room. Ah! Ah! Right when I descend to the second floor, I come across Eel emerging from out of his room. Eel, are you feeling better?
はい、どうにか心配をかけてしまい申し訳ありません。
Each time as he speaks is mellowed completely. His breathing also looks steady. Considering how shaken up he was, I thought it would take a long time for him to calm down, but... Hey, do you mind if I ask what got you so shaken up earlier? He tilts his head at me. It seems Eel was already anticipating that I would ask it. He makes a small nod then answers in a low bellow. Yeah, I'm aware. Okay. Punish you? It was an ominous statement, but seeing how frightened Eel was, there's no mistake it's a severe punishment. I see. But I don't want to pry too much, or need to disturb him once again. For now, I'll just be content that Eel is so lively again. A ringtone goes off, interrupting his question. Oh, that's me, sorry, just a second. I thought it would be from Rindo calling after returning to GPM, but the name displayed on screen belongs to an unexpected person. Hello? Hi! It's a cheerful voice of my old friend with whom I reunited the other day. Her voice is a little on the loud side, so I'm sure Eel, who stood right next to me, could hear her. No worries, I just happened to be on break. What's up? Huh? Come through where? Wait, right now, I hurriedly checked the clock in my console's home menu. 9 p.m. The faint woman's scream I heard that night reverberates through my head. You shouldn't. Didn't you see the news? There's been mysterious disappearance close to here. Wait, the disappearances aren't a hoax. My desperate persuasion goes in vain and the call ends. With that incident yesterday, the worst possibility fills my head and I can't speak. I nod frantically. Eel appears just a little indecisive for a moment, then... Uh-oh. Right, there's no point in standing around. I send word by SNS to Canis and the others since I waste time to wait for their return. Then I dash out into the night town along with Eel. Oh, something's going to happen. Eel promptly determines the shortest route from her hotel to the shop and leads the way. Following the path, we run along in search of her. Where could she be? Don't tell me she already... The moment I think that... Without waiting for my answer, Eel holds my body and takes flight. The complex, interweaving allies are not an obstacle to him flying in the air. He finds the silhouette right away. Still supported by Eel, we make a soft landing. At the same time, Eel returns to the form he usually lives as at the end of his stern gaze. She's collapsed limply on the ground. Several shadows encircled her. Aha! Angels. More unlike eel, their wings were pure white. Is this what angels really look like? Right, eel, are you okay? I recall his panic in the morning and hurriedly look over to check.
問題ありません。さすがにこの状況で動揺するわけにもいかないでしょう。
As he says this, eel faces straight at the angels.
と言いましょう。かつての同胞たちよ。
Oh! Why are they so tall? Why does he look so small next to them?
一体なぜ人間界に、そしてなぜ人間たちの誘拐など、もしやあのお方の命令で期待はしていませんでしたが、やはり何も答えませんか。
肯定しよう。
The angels were silent the whole time, but the man in the center
あ
finally
のお
speaks.
方はこの世界にも信託を下し、救済されることをご決断
It
なさ
refers to God transmitting their thoughts or will to those in a lower world, such as humans on Earth. In this game, it refers to God sending commands down to angels.
い。落ち天使よ。お前も本来の役目に戻り。
No.
あの
I pause wondering what they mean. But as I turn, I see a beam of light draws a magic circle around my friend. Before I can say anything,
させません。
suddenly light flies by like the wind and pierces the wings of one of the angels. When I look over around Eel in a graceful stance, several magic circles of dazzling light in the form of crosses have appeared.
戦闘の前に確認。周囲への被害を最小限にとどめ、かつ友人に傷をつけない状態で奪還すれば良いのですね。
Yes, please. Can you do
可
that?
能ですとも。
With a smile. Countless arrows of light fly out of the magic circles in all directions. He takes aim at the angels scattered about and shoots them all at once. Yikes! The arrows instantly hit several of the angels and slam their bodies into the ground. Upon seeing this, the remaining angels attempt to flee.
人間たちに、いいえ、琴音の心に害を与えている以上、多少のダメージは覚悟しなさい。
Okay, I guess I can kind of see why his hair would be green now. Without a single pause, Eel activates a second attack. But I thought it was just like, you know how they make black hair bluish or purplish? With even more speed than before, the sharp weapons of light illuminate the gloomy alleyway. Regardless of by air or land, the angels who try to flee are mercilessly shot in the wings and legs. With a flutter, a countless number of battered feathers fall to the dirty ground. And 1 beat later, all the angels feebly drop to the ground.
やはり加減をすると大したダメージは与えられませんね。
I think it's more than enough. But it's true, while the angels are conscious, none of their wounds seem fatal. Maybe this is Eel's mercy.
さて、一段落しましたし。
Soon, with a leisurely pace unthinkable after a battle, Eel advances along the night road. He heads toward the angel right in front of my friend, kneeling and unable to
そ
move.
ちらの女性を返してもらいましょうか。
With a gentle smile that could be taken as friendly, Eel doesn't wait for the angel's reply and extends his hand towards her. But before his delicate fingers reach her, from far in the night sky, light comes flying down like a shooting star. In the airless, melancholy air, Eel with his pure white skin has his right arm sliced off. What? The splashing sound of flowing fallen blood. With the smell of iron, the cut of arm falls into the center of the puddle. The white sleeve cut off along with it slowly soaks into a red color. As though waiting for this opportunity, the collapsed angels disappear into surges of light. However, right now, more important than that... Eel! I want to believe this is a dream. With a trembling body, I fearfully look at Eel, but no matter how many times I look below his right elbow, there's nothing. Just dripping red. I scream with no voice. First aid, contact everyone, I need to do something. As I toil with indecision, watching the tragedy unfold before my eyes, my body won't do what I tell it to.
油断しましたね。離れた場所に光栄がいましたか。丁寧に転送の下準備までして。
Why are you so calm? However, he himself seemed totally
それ
unconcerned.
にしても、よりによって利き腕を飛ばすとは不便ではないですか。
He sighs in a somewhat pouty way. Using his left arm and the rest of his body, Eel carries my friend over to me. He totally ignores the angels who fled in his own injury. Drip, drip. Blood still drips from his severed right arm.
はい、どうぞ。 約束通り無傷で取り戻しましたよ。
He looks happy about it. With an innocent smile, he holds her out to me. Sure, of course I'm happy she's safe, but... Ew. My breath are trembling. How could he, despite such a wound, despite bleeding so much, smile like he normally would?
どうしましたことね。もしや人違いではありませんよね。
Everything was the matter. Your arm, and you're bleeding.
この程度の傷であればすぐに修復できますが。
But doesn't it hurt? We need to hurry and stop the
い
bleeding.
え、ですからすぐに治りますよ。
The conversation goes in circles and I'm no one to lose. The moment the choking smell of blood from his body reaches me, my vision goes blurry. I know I shouldn't at a time like this, but I just can't stop it. Tears start spilling from my eyes. I'm sorry, Il. It's all because I told her about Enchanté in the first place. Because of me, you've been hurt. As I cry and apologize, Il lowers my friend to the ground and starts to babble in confusion.
待ってください。どうしてあなたがこの程度のことで泣くのです？きちんと友人を取り戻したのですよ。今回は失敗もせず、周囲に被害も与えていません。
Yeah, he has no self-preservation.
私は喜んでくれると、笑ってくれると思ったのに、なぜ？
After going silent for a while, Il moves his uninjured left arm and grasps my hand. He gives me a warm, reassuring smile.
心配しないでください。この程度の怪我、あなたのことを思えば大したものではありません。
Oh, a voice in that smile. It was uncanny. Wait, without doubt, it played out exactly as it had in the Otome game. It was practically the same line. I shiver. A strange chill runs up my back. Regardless of how fond he was of him, copying it out of respect, even in a situation like this, is kind of lame. Il, are you... Suddenly strength leaves Eel's neck. Il! I hurriedly call to him as he hangs his head, losing consciousness. Though you really were just forcing yourself, that wound must hurt. I was an idiot for thinking about Otome games in a situation like this. The details can wait for later. I need to prioritize stopping his bleeding. I reach for his torn garment, thinking it could be useful to bind his wound. In a soft voice, Eel starts muttering something.
肉体損傷 10% を超過。自己再生プログラムを起動。霊力の代替エネルギーとして地下の流脈より気を組み上げ変換。肉体の再構築を開始します。
Ley line refers to energy lines flowing underground according to study statues in Feng Shui. Eel's body is engulfed in a silver light. To protect my eyes from the glare, my eyelids ignore my will and forcibly seal off my vision. Several seconds later, I sense the light has faded and fearfully open my eyes. Ha! There I see Eel looking down at his perfectly healed right arm. When I look over, his right arm and the blood pooled on the ground have vanished without a trace. However, despite his wound being healed, his facial expression is still one of unease.
ことね、今私は何か妙な発言をしていませんでしたか?
If he can heal himself like this, though, why didn't he do that in the Ignis room? I mean, I guess Bestia robbed him of most of his powers, but that much? Really? If he can just straight up get his arm back? I couldn't answer at all, but my silence was taken as an answer to his question. Eel is shaken by that strange occurrence being seen. I can tell to a painful degree. Oh god. Afterwards, Ignis and the others who saw my message came rushing over. Thanks to Reno dealing with the matter, my friend who was almost taken by the angels was brought to a hospital. As for Eel, whose right arm was cut off despite being fully healed, Ignis and the others threw him into an empty room for treatment and told him to rest in bed. The whole time, he and I didn't exchange a single word.
なるほど。本当に天界の天使たちが誘拐事件の犯人だったとはね。
天の使いが人さらいね。天界っつうのはそんなろくでもねえ場所なのか。
しかし
All the regulars, excluding Mishi, who was in a demon world, were conscious of Eel. I admit everything I can remember about what happened at the time as they sat attentively.
天使たちがイルに誘拐の協力を促したというのは間違いないのか？
Yep. And not without saying a word. With my response, Rindo sighs deeply.
何が目的かはわからないけど、しばらくはイルの動向をきちんと監視する必要があるかな。
Rindo, I can understand what he means. As the person who monitors Enchanté, if any of the non-humans act strangely, Kaoru Rindo must act accordingly as per his duty as a member of the GPM.
我もまさかとは思うが、天界と天使、その双方には謎が多いのも事実。林道の懸念はもっともだろう。
下手すりゃあいつが自覚してねえっつうパターンもあり得るしな。
That Eel is being used somehow by the angels? After nodding, Ignis starts to run his hand through his hair.
つか今まで意識してこなかったけどよ。そもそもあいつなんで人間界に完全についてんだ？
Because he got kicked out of heaven!
打天使だから追われてるっつっても、あいつの実力なら大抵のやつはぶっ飛ばせるだろ。
Ooh, baby, do you know that's right? Ooh, heaven is a place on earth. The same heaven. Da, da, da. Da, 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 da.
Wait, Ignis, you don't know?
アンシャンテはそのあたり互いに不干渉ってか気にしねえのが暗黙のルールだったからな。そこんとこどうなんだよ、カヌス。ここの最古さんはお前だろ。
それなのだが。
How has Kaden's been here the longest? I thought Misha was the oldest. Oh, well, okay, yeah, he can be the oldest but not have been to Enchanté the longest.
我もまたお前と同様に、イルの事情や初来天地のことを何も知らぬのだ。
え？
気づいた時には存在していたとしか説明できん。
Wow.
はあ？
With Kaden's remarks, everyone's eyes open wide.
当時、アンシャンテに来店していた人外は、我とミシェルの2人のみだったのだが、我には一時、長期にわたりメディオへと帰還していた時期があってな。そこから戻って。
When you returned, he was just suddenly there.
ああ、カヌスおかえり。ほら、君も挨拶しなよ。はじめまして。あなたもこの店の常連なのですね。私はイルファドでリエと申します。
ミシェルと共に当然のようにカウンターに座る。
I see now. No wonder he doesn't know anything. That means Eel came to the shop while Canis was away. Does that mean Grandpa and Misha really wants to welcome him?
いや、振り返ればイルはあまりに早くこの店に馴染んだように思う。アンシャンテにもともといた彼の存在に我が気がついていなかったという線。
How would you do that?
何にせよ、イル本人と当時のことを知ってるミシェルに話を聞かねえと始まらねえな。
Misha definitely knows more than he lets on. That's right. Angels. I had never made the connection before, but now it was all clearing up. However, what was that strange condition Eel was in before? That reminds me, the other angels spoke in a similar way. There was no tone to their voice. I always had a divine, dignified image of angels in my mind. What exactly are angels? I mean, considering that their entire magic seems to be based on math, I'm guessing they're not as dignified and angelic and divine as you make them out to be. Calling. Speaking. Two figures, they smiled softly at me. Why? Why me? Why a face like that of all things? No matter what I think, I fail to understand, but I feel compelled to respond. If I don't answer that gentle voice, I sense without any basis that I lose something, but I don't know how to answer. So instead, I try to extend my hand. I just want to hear it one more time, that voice. I extend my hand to the figures. I'm so close to reaching them. The figures vanish. What appears in their places? Red. Red. Sinking into it are two. Excuse me? I shout words without meaning and leap. While not as bad as this morning, my breathing is rough. I desperately try to calm it and survey my surroundings to get a grasp of my location. In an empty room at Enchanté. Ah, right. The moment we returned, Ignis and the others forced me to go to bed. Still. So he does have memories. I blame the contact with the angels, so they really did seem to know about me. Fortunately, they didn't speak of my background. However, I think that's only a matter of time. No, it's still possible to deal with this. In short, I need to restrain the angels myself before they contact Kotuna and hand them over to the GPM. Furthermore, right now I need to prioritize consideration of something else. I cannot shake the image of her crying face from my mind. She shed tears while grieving at the death of the school of Pakus, but this time, unlike the last, nobody died. Why did she cry? Because you got hurt! Was it something I did? With staggered steps, I rise from bed and return to my own room. I reach for the game console set near my hammock. It's not powered on. How far must she have progressed into this? Calculating from the time she started, there's no mistake that she has begun approaching the truth. My brain calls for stillness. Any further is dangerous. Don't get taken in. I've long understood such things, however, in the end this is all I have to cling to. Gazing at the screen showing only my own face, seeking an answer, I repeat. I can't hear his voice. My head creaks. What is this uncertainty swirling in my chest? For some reason, slowly. Inside my head, an unknown black thing swells within my cranium. The plan progresses without any deviation. Soon that thing will manifest a nova of mental instability in him. Excuse me? At my voice, the fools with black-stained wings trash about in exaggerated motions. I don't know what they would complain about, but there's no need to know. I simply fulfill the task entrusted to me. I narrow my eyes and declare. What the hell is going on? Haha. I cut the power. This isn't the time to play games. While I know that when I spotted this when I woke up in the morning, I was too curious to leave it. I played a bit more. Kotuna, maybe you should actually spend the time and like finish the game. Maybe it will prevent tragedy that seems to be further down this route. Even I don't know why I decided to turn the power on. It's just there was a vague anxiety in my heart. This game could hold some sort of key, or at least I hoped. I need to have a meeting with everyone soon. I should go downstairs. What meeting, you may ask? Of course it has to do with the abductions. Of course it does. Even though it hasn't been a whole day, the amount of kidnappings was growing and the hubbub would soon become impossible for the GPM to keep secret. If it was all over Japan or also overseas, an excuse could still be made, but the missing people only come from this town, from the vicinity of Enchanté. Due to this, GPM increased their surveillance on Eel significantly. In the middle of this, Reno makes a bitter face arriving with a certain person in tow. I don't want you here. Fuck off. Everyone seems unsurprised and no one moves. Earlier that morning, Misha returned. We hoped to speak with him about Calm and the angels, yet they came at the worst possible timing. As expected, Misha makes a displeased face and looks straight at Mr. Assistant.
それを聞いてさ、 俺たちが素直にはいどうぞなんて応じると本気で思ってるの？第一君さ、開発部の下っ端でしょ？何の権限があってそんなことを言ってるのかな。
いや、それが実は彼ちょこちょこ情報課にも出向に来てて、
その縁で辞令を下された。この店に対し市場を挟む林道薫に代わり、私へ監視役を任ずると。
How convenient for you. I'm sure Rindu tried to oppose that, but it was no good. I knew that to be the case, but Rindu probably had no desire to help him. He makes no attempt to obstruct him.
そちらにどのような事情があってもイルの身柄を引き渡すわけにはいかん。
なぜお前たちの許可が必要なのか。
何？
我らはこの店の所有者たる人外の管理者、つまりマスターに対し交渉を持ちかけている。ただの客に過ぎないお前たちに口を挟む権利はない。
God, I hate you. The conversation suddenly swings to me. That's not possible. Suddenly demanding us to hand Eel over to you is too much. Without hesitating, I refuse. Stay calm, I say this to myself and face Mr. Assistant. True, Eel has secrets, but I'm the owner of Enchanté. I need to trust my regular customers more than some unknown researchers. Of course, Eel has some sort of relation to the angels. After all, they come from the same homeland and they are the same race. But isn't it too much to suspect him just because of
奴が
that?
天使たちの協力要請を受けたという証言をしたのは他ならぬお前のはずだ。
That's true, but Eel fought them. He saved my friend. Isn't that better evidence than anything that he refused their request?
あらかじめ奴らと辻褄を合わせ演技をした可能性もある。
Is there any proof of that? Silence must indicate otherwise. I start to stay silent to press the point further, but I take a deep breath. I believe in Eel. There's no way he would help with kidnappings.
いかなる理由を根拠にした宣誓なのか。
Huh? My body stiffens at the unexpected rebuttal. Mr. Assistant's cold voice resounds from under his hood. For some reason, I feel an unexplained sense of dread. Because Eel is really honest
素
and...
直。それがあの打天使の正しき本質だと。天使の生態を完璧に理解した上で、お前は間違いないと断言できるのか。
Well, do you? I want to say, of course.
ダメージを確認。肉体損傷 10% を超過。自己再生プログラムを起動。霊力の代替エネルギーとして地下の流脈より気を組み上げ変換。肉体の再構築を開始します。
The memory flashes by in my head, blocking my throat from ejecting. I thought he would mercilessly press the point, but contrary to my expectations, Mr. Assistant doesn't question
根拠
further.
がなくとも引き渡しに拒否の意を示されたのは事実だが、こちらにも決定的な証拠がない。強硬策に出たとして5年前の戦闘と同じ結果になるのは明らか。
What?
よって交渉方針を変更する。
What battle?
妥協案として天使の捕獲計画への協力をお前と
Angel arrest.
肯定だ。実行は今晩。この条件を飲むのなら打天使の身柄引き渡しを要求しない。
I look around at everyone to see if it would be dangerous to accept.
僕は悪くはない意見だと思う。天使たちを捕まえて真実を語らせればイルの無実は証明されるし。
I guess.
だな。それにこのまま天使どもの好き勝手にさせんのはうざってえし。
馴染みのある人間たちに被害が及ぶのも好ましくない。
With Windor's advice, Candace and Ignis nod in approval. Only Misha maintains her silence. But I want to prove Eel's innocence too. I understand. We cooperate in whatever way we can. Following the majority vote, I give the final answers to the owner.
けど捕獲っつってもどうすんだよ。罠でも張んのか。
肯定。おとりを用い天使が行動を起こ
And
す
who's going to be the lure? Me? A lure, you say? Don't tell me you're going to use a person. There, Rindo shakes his head in
そ
denial.
れはさすがに厳しいだろうから、ミシェルに幻覚とかそういう類の協力を頼めるとこっちはありがたいんだけどね。
もちろんできなくはないよ。だけど俺夜はどうしても魔界に帰らなきゃいけないんだよね。
Alright, you always go back every day, at least before the turn of day.
だから作戦に参加しても
Did
途
he?
中離脱が濃厚だね。
Wasn't it the middle of the night when the Amazaki Island thing happened too?
今すぐ魔界に戻っていいならもろもろ用事を片付けてくるから、たとえ夜でも余裕で手伝うんだけどさ。
その意見を却下する。お前たち自身もあの打天使に対する協力関係の疑い
Well, duh! Everyone's going to be suspicious in your book.
よって作戦開始まで人間界を離れることを禁ずる。
Fuck you.
当然禁を破ればあの打天使に対する権威は深まり、より今後の自由に制限がかかるものと思え。
I hope we get to pull the thing in front of his face off sometime and punch him in the face. If he even has one. That means Misha is going to be forced to leave in the middle of everything. By the way, do you have any intent of letting Eel join the
容疑者
operation?
に参加する資格があるとでも。
Right.
ならばメディオから現実に長けた妖精を何匹か連れてこよう。少々扱いには困るだろうが、女王からの命令があればどうにかできるである。
A kind suggestion, Mr. Assistant says it would be useful and makes arrangements for time. Then he accepts a temporary return.
よし、じゃあ決まりだな。
Taking Ignis hitting his two clenched fists together as a signal, the plan is set. It will execute tonight. We projected the time of the next kidnapping, which is when the fairies will scatter decoys. Canis and Ignis, along with multiple GPM personnel, will patrol the area. If any angels trip a trap, they'll rush over and restrain them. Windu will be at GPM headquarters to take command of Intelligence Division personnel. Me and the suspect Eel, along with Mr. Assistant as a monitor, will stay in the show. Oh no! That won't end well. Misha will also stay at the shop on standby and will rush over if something happens. I know I just get in the way, but I hated not being able to contribute. After the roles were divided out, I was sighing in ejection when...
女子くんだっけ。一つ意見させてもらっていい？
With a face hard to read for emotions, Misha speaks to Mr.
わざ
Assistant.
わざ夜を待たなくてもさ、今すぐに天使を捜索すればいい話じゃない？
いるでは人払いにも限界がある。
そんなのこっちの認識阻害でどうとでもなるよね。
発見したとして人のいる場で戦闘が発生した場合、その席を GPM が追い切れる保証はない。
Neither hides their suspicion, and the two silently press their V's into
これ以
each
上の議
other.
論は無駄と判断する。意を唱えるほど
Oh, fuck
打天
off.
使への疑いが深ま
You're
ると
repeating
し
yourself.
では監視業務のため私にも部屋を提供してもらおう。
Oh, in that case, there's
ア
an
ベカリ
empty.
アの検査の際、内部構造は把握している。案内は不要だ。
Okay, damn. Mr. Assistant cuts off the dispute on his end and quietly goes up the stairs. The inside of the shop is suddenly silent. During this, Canis walks over to Misha.
ミシェル、お前にも問いたいことがある。作戦まで時間がない。
Nope. While he initially tilts his head in puzzlement at Canis' stern words, Misha quickly goes back to
思
listen.
えばお前は以前からイルのことを気にかけていたな。外出制限などの過保護が最たる例だろう。
That's true.
ミシェル、イルが外出することにやはり反対なのか？
そりゃこいつは一人で放っておくと何するかわかんねえし、あいつと二人で出かけんのも初めてだろうけどよ。そこまで過保護に見ることはねえんじゃねえか。実際俺よりずっと年上なんだしよ。
みんなの意見もわかるんだけど、それでも心配は心配っていうか。
今までは我と同様、 イルの危うさに影響されているの
No, I think he was more concerned with them finding him.
実際は違うのではないか。今回の一件やイルの過去について何か知っているからこそ悟られぬよう彼を庇護していたのではないか。
That really was direct. Everyone here waits for Misha to start moving his lips. After a lengthy silence, Misha slightly averts his gaze and Kane is questioning, then... Could you speak up? I couldn't hear you! He mutters this somewhat bitterly. I would like to have a word with whoever mixed the sound for this game. Like... Literally, the BGM is at almost the lowest it goes and voices are at the highest there, possible. Afterwards, at the same time, Rinu returns to GPM for the operation. It's evening. With an almost singing, elegant yawn, Il comes down the stairs. Effects of the day before's injury or agitation from the events, it's as though not a single trace remains of such things. Without noticing my sense of discomfort, Il heads at his own pace to an empty seat.
おはようってお前降りてこねえと思ったらマジで寝てやがったのか。
昨日おとなしく寝ろと指示したのはあなたとカヌスでは？私はそれに従ったまでですが。
そうだな。てめえはそういうやつだったよ。
誘拐の嫌疑がかかっているとは思えぬほどののんきさだな。
嫌疑？何の話です？
You see, with a bit of awkwardness, I start talking to Il when... Il lightly presses his temples and groans. Il, are you okay? You really must still feel unwell.
大丈夫です。それよりも話の続きをお願いしても？
Is he really okay? Well, concerned, I explain the general situation to Il. Are they really going to put all of this still in chapter 2? Wow.
確かにこの状況では私に疑いの目がかかるのは仕方のないことです。
I guess we're going for a lot longer. That's putting it lightly.
しかし事実ですので、ここで違うとわめいたところで容疑が晴れるわけでもありません。ですが本当に全員で天使の捕獲を？どうもそれにだけは抵抗が。
お前への疑いを晴らすためだっての。うつくさ文句言うんじゃね
え。いる。この際だ。展開がいかなる世界なのか。お前の口から語ってはくれぬか。
それなら以前林道の聞き取り調査の際に語りましたよ。
For some reason, everyone looks at me at the same time. Just a feeling, but they want me to start talking with Il and get information out of him, I think. Fine, I don't mind. Then for start, I say this and start searching for what's that Il will swallow. What kind of world is it? I can already see asking like that will only get vague answers like just now. In that case, alright, it's settled. Il, about Kelm, besides angels and fallen angels, what kind of things exist in that world? Huh, I see. God.
Kami?
God? Wait, God? He said it so casually, everyone shouts in surprise at the same time. I mean, why wouldn't a god be there? You're talking to an angel. But by God, you mean that God?
はい、天使が使える天上のお方です。
What?
さすがにこれは予想外かな。
Says the demon lord.
なぜ皆がそこまで驚いているのかはわかりませんが。
It seems like Il decides we want more details about God.
天使たちにとって神、あのお方の命令は絶対です。逆に言えば、それ以外の理由で行動することはない。
Then you are definitely defective because you take orders from other people.
打天使はその命令に背くか、 あのお方が定めた法を破り落ちた存在。私も
ほうだ、お前んとこにも人間界みてえなめんどくさいルールあんだな。
God ends up being a highly advanced AI or something. I wouldn't be surprised.
まあ
But it's interesting.
今回の
He is a
神隠し
fallen
は
angel,
まさに
but
文字
still
通り
most of his wings are still white. Also, he has several wings. The other fallen angels we saw earlier had completely black wings and only one pair. Eel nods
で
yes.
すがどうにも解せぬことが。以前林道にも語っていましたが、展開は非常に閉鎖的な世界です。ホールの件もありますし、異世界に対する警戒程度はしますが、それ以外には徹底的に無関心を貫きます。故に人間を誘拐するなど、自らトラブルを起こすような真似はしないはずなのですが。
戦争でも起こす気なんじゃねえのか、人間界を支配してとか。昔そんなノリのやつがここのゲートから出てきたじゃねえか。コテンパンにして送り返したけどよ。
いえ、それだけは断じてありえません。
Oh.
なんで断言できんだよ。
神が最も嫌う行為だからです。あのお方が最優先とするのは
The weird
展
spaces
開の安
in
寧と
this
いう
route
名の
are fucking with my brain.
益や発展が得られると分かっていても、カエルムに変化をもたらす要因は全て排除する。
Oh.
それが展開における絶対的な
That
法な
sounds
ので
like a
す。
terrible world.
要するに現状維持至上主義、良くも悪くも変化を嫌うってことか。
But in that case, why are the angels here? The angels left the heavenly world and came to the human world. In a way, isn't it change?
明らかに法とやらと矛盾しているな。
それについては何も分かりません。私がこちらで過ごしている間に展開に何かあったのかもしれませんね。
Yeah, someone wants to restore order. It seems there's no more information that Eel can tell us. While we were talking like this, we didn't realize how much time had passed. With little choice, Ignis entrusted with the patrol role, and Kane is leading the ferry stand-up.
にしても急にでかい話になってきやがった。これ以上の面倒にならなきゃいいがな。
Yeah, that's right. Nah. The sky is starting to stain orange. The time for the operation approaches and everyone heads to their assigned positions. Then... Yeah, this is going to blow up. Misha puts a finger over his mouth and waves me over. Be quiet, is that what he must mean? What could he want to talk about? Upon determining this, I walk over with footsteps hushed as well as possible and we go outside Enchanté. Holding a large bag, Kari is standing in front of the shop. Huh? Is what I'm about to shout in surprise, but I hold it back at the last moment. Karia, why are you here?
ミシェルに呼ばれた。泊まれる準備をしてこっち来いって。
そうそう。例の作戦が終わるまで彼にもここにいてもらおうと思ってね。
Misha lightheartedly pats Karia on the shoulder like usual, but I can't overlook this. Don't be dangerous right now. This is related to the kidnappings.
犯さなくても大体の事情は聞いてる。天使たちによる神隠しだっけ。
If you know, that's all the more.
そういうのいらない。蚊帳の外にされんのが一番きつい。
True though, wouldn't he be safer with us?
詳細はごまかしたけど。
What?
ロシアからは許可もらってるし。
Wait, hold on. When did I put on auto mode and how?
何かあっても、琴音が責任を追及されたりしないよ。
That's not the issue. I'm just worried about you. While I'm trying to persuade him, Karia makes a face of mixed feelings.
協力させて。ちょっと会話が成立しないし、たまに数学を教えてくれたり、ゲームハード貸してくれたりするし。俺、
Aww.
いるんだから、いるにかけられてる疑いを晴らしたい。アリバイを証明する人数は多い方がいいだろう。
We're both going to be fucking abducted by the angels, aren't we? That's right. Kadia was another regular at the shop. He probably worried about Eel. Then I was hit with something obvious. I got it. Thank you, Karia. Let's work together.
変なの。いる本人じゃなくて、琴音がお礼言うとか。
Haha. At least you unloaded. Yeah. Karia briefly smiled, but he quickly stiffened his
でもアリバイ云
expression.
々だけが俺を呼び出した理由じゃないよね。ミシェル。
保険だよ。
Insurance. Misha nods to a window and enchant the second floor with his chin. Ah, the position is probably empty room that Mr. Assistant is in. What about Mr. Assistant?
彼、どうも真意が読めない。気な臭いっていうか、今回の作戦に俺を絶対参加させないよう動いてるようにも見えた。
That reminds me, he was really insistent on it being at night when he wouldn't be here. I nearly forgot, but Rin was our observer from GPM. In that case, information about Misha going to the demon world every night would reach Mr. Assistant. Would it though?
今逆らってもいいことはなさそうだから、ひとまずは様子を見るけど、信用はできそうもなくてね。
According to him, he also told Ignis and the others to slip by the GPM personnel with them and try to return early. But it seems Misha is extremely wary about Mr. Assistant. It seems that wasn't enough.
ああ、念には念をってね。というわけで、ちょっと耳貸して。
I don't mind. I will lend you an ear as soon as my headphones stop falling off.
何？
Kadia walks close and Misha goes right up to his ear. I can't hear what they're talking about and Kadia makes a confused face, but it seems he agreed by the end. He silently nods back. After that, to hide himself from Mr. Assistant, Kadia waits quietly on standby in the kitchen, using the perception obstruction there to mask his presence. I should also watch out for Mr. Assistant's movements. However, I hope nothing happens, but please let the suspicion on Eel clear up. I couldn't help but pray for such things. Yeah, that's not happening. Wow. Yeah, they're still going. The operation to arrest Angel seems fishy even to a GPM staff member. Several hours passed since it commenced, even as the date is about to turn over. I throw commands to subordinates running along the halls.
天使を得る唯一の手がかりは霊力とかいう未知のエネルギーだけ。
I mean, he got us all. Hydrate time. He got us all to go to different places, and now it's literally just Eel, the assistant, and us. Well, Karia, but the assistant doesn't know that. In the cafe, while everyone else is going on a wild goose hunt for someone they don't know if they will even show up. If they'll even show up. I doubt they will show up, right? I don't like this.
データベースにヒットしない怪しいエネルギーを受信したらすぐに各所へ連絡してくれ。
But also he's mobilizing the entire or like some part of the GPM, so something is going to happen, so he can cover it up. Whatever it is he wants to do. The subordinates salute like soldiers, then depart. The combat division can be pretty wild, but I'm blessed with the subordinates under me. As I think this, I hear footsteps from down the hallway. A fine rhythm and like the shoes of an adult. Right away you know their identity and grammar. Hi, I'm actually glad to see you.
天使の捕獲なんてそんな心躍りまくる面白い計画になんで僕を混ぜてくれないんだよ
He's literally the only one from all the routes where we found out who the bad guy is I don't actually dislike.
そういう反応をするからだよ。
I sharply replied to Mikado as he clings to my leg. Actually, the bags under his eyes are ridiculous. How many nights has he not slept? I realize I'm the one who brought data about Medium making me at least one factor, and I feel just a little sense of guilt. Still, we're in the middle of operation. I quickly explain him away and toss him into a nap room.
僕にも関わらせろ君だけが取り仕切るなんてずるいぞ
Blame it.
いけ中年め
Blame it on your assistant. This is... Could I drop a fist on him for this? I'm sure it's fine. Here goes. Without noticing my clenched fist, Mikado starts stamping his feet in frustration.
ただでさえカリア君の検査ができなくてストレスが溜まっているのに。
What?
何の話？検査できないって。
だからカリア君のことだよ。最近ますます検査に来てくれないじゃないか。まったく最近の若者は言い聞かせるほど反発するね。困ったものだね。
いや、待って。ミカド、お前例の女子君を代わりに派遣してカリア君の検査を行ってたんじゃ。
はあ、楽しく5鉄目マーチを奏でている人間に対して寝言をほざくなどいい度胸だね、リンド。いいか、どれだけ忙しくともこの僕がミカドアキラが人外研究のチャンスを他人に譲るわけないだろう。
はははは。
はあ、ちゃんと検査に来るようにって女子君に伝言をお願いしたはずなのにな。
Cold sweat starts to gush from my brow. I immediately take out my smartphone and press the call button. However, the call to Enchant is blocked out by a strange static noise. Then what about an SMS message? I thought, but the result is the same. All that displays is garbled text. I start swearing abuses and run off at full speed.
リンド、どこへ行くんだい？部下たちの指示はどうするのさ？
はははははははははははははははは。Why are we outside? Depending on the street and area, this hour is almost completely engulfed in silence. The presence of raindrops accompanied the dull-colored clouds. Misha stayed in the human world as long as he could, holding out to the last possible moment, but about 30 minutes before the day changes...
やっぱダメっぽい。ほんとごめん。一回魔界に戻らせてもらうよ。
For some reason, his face is somewhat pale as he returns to the demon world. Yeah, I am very interested in finding out what that's about once we reach his route. As the intense sound of rainfall pattered onto the roof, the only ones left here are me and Eel. I was told to watch out for Mr. Assistant, so I've been paying attention to the stairs, but there's no sign of him making a move or even coming down here. Not even the sound of the door opening. Was Eel not a part of the plan? Eel awkwardly looks down as he speaks to me. Huh? Oh, what is it, Eel? Do you want a drink or a snack? Oops, I'm falling back on a knife.
いえ、そういうわけでは。ただ私はあなたに謝罪をしなければと。
Wait, apologize? Why?
先日の天使との戦闘後、あなたを泣かせてしまいましたから、きっと私はあなたに対してひどいことをしてしまったのですよね。本当に申し訳ありませんでした。
Oh, that's right. On that day we ended up not speaking a word afterwards, and after that we didn't have much chance to speak because of the GPM visits under operation. No worries. Actually, I'm sorry for confusing you, Eel. I'm really glad you managed to rescue my friend. Thank you. But I know he's healed, but just looking at Eel's right arm reminds me of that time the moment pierces through me. I was really sad that you were injured. As the words leave my mouth. It's as though this is the first time Eel has heard the word. He starts repeating it, over and over, mixed with bafflement and incomprehension like a broken record player. Eel. When I call to Eel, he suddenly stops repeating the word. Then he flashes an awkward smile, baring his teeth.
どのような理由であれ、あなたが落ち込んでしまうのは私の望むことではありません。ですから。
Eel stands from his chair and slowly walks towards me. One step, another step. With a cheerful... Uh-oh. With a cheerful smile.
どうか元気を出してください。
Ah, no!
私にできることはありませんか？あなたが望む。
I don't know, for some reason I expected him to like start to strangle us or something. But this isn't any better. Not gonna lie. thought it was just my imagination before. Eel, but now it's certain. I reflexively stand up from my chair and back away from him. The words, the smile, everything about him, Eel and the mysterious man were one and the same, so without thinking, Who are you? By the time I realized that I was saying it. Am I speaking with the real Eel? I heard the exact same line you just said in that game. And not just this time, it happened before. When I say this, Eel's face goes pale and he covers his mouth with his hand. Could it be that he said it without being aware of it? What relation do you have with the character, Eel? Everything from his expressions and mannerism are like yours. This isn't a coincidence, is it? And before, when you got hurt, you were so unfazed that I began to worry. Are you hiding something from me? Including this incident now, I just don't know enough about angels. Hey, Eel, exactly what kind of beings are angels? While I was asking this, part of me wanted him to just deny it. It's just a coincidence. You're overthinking it, Kotone. With the same smile as usual, I wanted him to sweep away these strange worries and chills swirling in my chest. However, he doesn't move, like he's frozen. Then, perhaps due to the intense thunderstorm right when the lights in the shop dim, my question is answered. A voice falls from the heavens. Immediately after the next row, without using the stairs, and the center of the shop appears. Mr. Assistant? His voice sounds even colder than usual. Who he faces is... Wait. Didn't they meet before? Much like when he saw the angel feather, Eel begins to lose his composure. As he says this, Mr. Assistant throws off his hood. At the same time, there's the sound of something else spreading. Mr. Assistant's figure, he had big wings that rivaled Eel's as he transformed into a man with divine, pure white wings on his back. An angel? As I stand in shock, Eel next to me says his true name in a trembling voice. Who?
Ah, fuck, he's pretty.
相当な不具合を起こしているようだな。いや、断罪の天使、東古代の片翼たる使徒よ。
The whom that what that what?
Judgment? What does that mean? Despite my questioning, Mr. Assistant. No, the young man called Solitus ignores me. Reflected in his eyes is Eel, his face pale and trembling.
お前は天界における唯一無二の個体。故に神は罰することはせず、手元に戻ることを許された。お前が不在の間、処分すべき欠陥品が多量に溜まってしまった。同じ使徒とはいえ、東古代だけでは手が足りない。さあ、戻るぞ。あの時のように神の手足として、己が役目を果たすがいい。
Eel forcefully shakes his head.
嫌です。私は戻りたくない。私はもう断罪の天使じゃない。神のしもべでもない。打天使。そうです。私もあなたたちの言う欠陥品のはず。こんな出来損ないにあのお方からの信託を果たす役目はふさわしくないでしょう。
I don't get why they would use it, say it as oracle when they could have just said like his word, carry out his word, because his oracle sounds weird. As he refuses with a frightened voice, Solitus.
打天使だと申告しているが、お前は落ちきってなどいない。このような感情についてのデータ収集など必要ないだろ
Suddenly something is thrown to the floor. The thing that landed with the hot thud was the game console from— Hey! Don't throw it around! The power's on and the screen lights up. Of course what's running is the Choma game I left in it. Probably because it's on auto mode, the text and voice lines progress on their own. When Eel sees it, for some reason he screams with no voice.
やめてください。それだけは。
He loses his composure even more and reaches for the game console. That moment.
信頼するあなたにだけは私の本当の名を教えましょう。
Oh no.
私の名前はイル。イルファドデリエです。
What? The inside of my head goes blank. Il Farderie, that's the name of the young man on screen who I've had questions about all this time? Wait, so... Who is this person in front of me? An unpleasant palpitation shakes my chest. Then Solitos, who had been ignoring me until now.
青きことね。お前はこの個体の人格を評価していたようだが。
You shut your mouth.
なぜなら我ら天使は神の神託に従い天界の安寧を守る。感情など存在しないただの
You shut your whole mouth.
いる。いや断罪という呼び名しか持たぬこの個体がこの空想上の男の人格をトレースしていたに過ぎない。お前と行った接触や会話はすべて仮想。
That is not true.
え
He declares the cruel truth with no mercy. Maybe God's oracle in the order of heaven is wrong then. How can that be real? I tried to ask him, but...
否定を求められているぞ。望み通りに応答してやるがいい。
You shut your dirty mouth!
ただしトレース元の口調や言葉を一切引用せず己自身が思考し作成した言葉にて
Eel desperately flaps his lips without a sound. All that emanates from his throat are dying breaths and gasps, not words. That means...
不可能だろうな。どれだけお前が精密に男の人格をトレースし彼感情の有無を問われるなどというその男にとって絶対に起こり得ぬ事象への対応
Shut the
再現でき
fuck
ない。
up! Your clothes are ugly. Eel suddenly raises his head and his anguished gaze meets mine. He looks at my facial expression. He tilts his head in desperation, trying to figure out what he felt, and starts approaching me.
違うんですことね。私は人形なんかじゃ。
Still trying to cling to me, he extends his hand. No! Why wouldn't you take his hand? Cortone! Why? For instinct, I take a step back. I'm terribly confused as well, trying to figure out the truth. All I can do is repeat it. No emotions. An imitation. Just take his fucking hand! No! Then all the words until now and that smile before were all... No! No, they were true!
待って、行かないで、逃げないで。
Don't.
ことね。
Once again, Eel tries to close the distance with me, but that frigid voice stops him.
生物の真似事は堪能したか。ではそろそろ意志なき人形に戻るがいい。
What's with you then? Aren't you also an unthinking puppet, huh? Shut up then. We started his words as a signal. Pillars of light rise all over the place in the shop. From inside the light appear a number of figures. Angels, but... Unlike Solitus and Eel, the angels that appeared have wings stained totally black, but even stranger than that are the expressions on their faces. I know Solitus said that angels don't have emotions, but all of them, as though they're afraid, they tremble with hostility towards Eel. Eel is obviously scared. What do you mean? No. Yeah, right! Solita slowly takes one step back, then declares quietly.
断罪の試練に打ち勝つがいい。この個体を回収。あるいはその娘を
Excuse me?
定められた運命から逃がすと契約しよう。
Be faking now, Mr. Soltis will say something. As though instigated by this. One of the fallen angels shouts and releases a small ball of light at me.
ことね
Maybe just by reflex, Eel extends an arm as though to shield me and erases it with one hand. With that I realize it doesn't matter how many of them there are, they stand no chance against Eel, and yet...
やだ来るな来ないで
While he should have the advantage, he appears to be the one afraid of the fallen angels.
すでに精神は限界か。では、最後の一手を
I
打
want
つ
to
と
punch
し
his face. Just knock him out. Full frontal punch. Right hand, left hand. Boom. Maybe rip out a few of his wings, see if that hurts. Bitch. Solita's standing further back, narrows his already narrowed eyes at him.
淡きことね。先ほどお前は疑問
Yeah,
を
can
抱
you
いていた。
leave? Slapped the metal plates on his wings so his entire being's just ringing.
この個体が司る断罪とはいかなる意味なのか。ならば、そのもう一つの真実をお前の
What? After revealing so much truth already, there's still more to Eel? From empty space, Solitus pulls out a single spear, but he shows no sign of wielding it and simply stands holding it, staring straight at Eel.
まさか先日の一撃はあなたの
Of course it was him. Who else would it have been? Eel notices the gaze and the presence of the spear and his body shakes greatly. The cruel truth crosses with his dread rejection. The result is already clear.
神の代行者、神託の使徒、ソリテスの名のもとに。
やだ
断罪の使徒へと強制的に命ず。
私はもう断罪なんてしたくない
本来の姿、兵器として。
No!
誰も
法を破り愚かなる感情を得て落ちた者を裁くがいい。
殺したくな
At the same time, a Solitus spear shines beautifully. Eel's right arm, injured the other day, starts ignoring his will as it convulses and begins to move. Upon closer look, his hand and arm are entangled in threads of light appearing from the thin air. With a grinding sound, it manipulates his body as it twists in terror. Then, in the glitter of a moment,
来るな早く私から逃げて
Eel returns to his original form and points his magic toward the fallen angels. However, his shouts fall on deaf ears with the fallen angels.
俺は生きるんだお前を殺してでも心を得たからなんて理由で処刑なんかされてたまるかよ
With such shouts, the fallen angels fire the magic at Eel. During this,
さあ、殺せ。
he didn't direct that to the fallen angels, he said that to Eel.
やだいや
Eel's scream rings out. But counter to his refusal, innumerable arrows of light are released with a shout. The magic fires off into all of their bodies in a single moment without exception. Arrows of light bore through all of their chests, blood splatters around the shop. It took only a moment for every single one of them to stop moving. In other words, they're all dead. Piles of corpses. The shop is filled with the stench of blood, with such a gruesome sight before me. I get dizzy on the verge of collapse, but I lean against the counter to stay standing. In the center, the creator of this, no, the one forced to create the sight, stands in a daze. Splattered blood covers his palms and all of their corpses. The bodies and their blood turn to faint particles of light and vanish into the air. Seeing me standing in fear was the last straw. He loses it completely. What the fuck is going on?
これが本当に感情であり、こんな苦痛を呼び起こすものならば、私は、俺は、僕は、当個体は、その全てを放棄する。
固有霊力観測、座標確定、個体番号オールゼロから緊急信号と再接続の申請を確認。
What the fuck?
接続完了。該当個体からの要請を認可。要求された処理の実行を開始する。
Right now? Suddenly, along with an inorganic voice sounding out from who knows where. Ed is engulfed in light for a moment and falls to his knees and stops moving. Ew. There's no response. Walking over to him is...
やはりお前にはその姿が最もふさわしい。
Solitus casually steps through the area where the fallen angel corpses were and holds a hand over Eo.
目的の達成を確認。これより
Yo!
断罪の人の回収。
Yo, excuse me!
開かねえぞ。どうなってんだ。イグリス、そこをどけ。ダメか。ミシェルたちの結界に別のものが重ね掛けされているのか。
Solitus stops his actions. He probably reacted to the voices of Ignis and everyone who returned earlier than planned by Mishi's direction, as though waiting for this timing. Yes! Go for it, Kadia! I don't know what you can do, but do it! Kadia comes leaping out of the kitchen and heads straight to the room with the gate. Likely due to being taken totally by surprise, Solitus is unable to react to this, and Kadia manages to slip inside.
やっぱりあいつらがクローズドに。頼むよ、見せる。
The time is just after midnight. The gate opens vigorously. A presence of overwhelming power flows into the shop. From the demon world Asmodia, a non-human king returns to face an angel. However, when Misha notices the sight of Ida collapsed on the floor... Oh yeah! He trusts unprecedented hatred and mutters intended Solitus standing next to him. Go off, King! The sheer intent to kill seems to become blades and cuts into Solitus. However, he doesn't even move an eyebrow and calmly observes the situation.
かの者が相手では分が悪い。最優先とする目的は達成した。ここで回収せずとも、いずれ自主的に展開に戻るだろう。
Fuck you!
また!
There he goes. He vanishes with a glare of light. The only thing left there is the sound of intense rain from outside and silence to the point of sadness. What exactly was this? In the middle of this, I'm totally confused. It's like I'm seeing a terrible dream, but the ruined interior of the shop serves as a proof of the tragedy and chaos that occurred here in reality. The deaths of the fallen angels and the truth that Solitus mentioned. A broken fragment of glass falls from a table and the shuddering sound rings out. I instinctively look over. Ah. Eel is on the floor, his head still hung down. Fearfully I walk over to him. Eel! I call his name and peer into his face. Haha! Eel, hey, what is it? His eyes only say nothingness. Even if they give him a light shake, he doesn't move on his own. It's as though he truly has become a puppet. He simply announces in a mechanical way.
バグの全消滅を確認。人格データのフォーマットが完了しました。
That's all. Ha ha! Ah! What an interesting second chapter, huh? I want to continue, but I know we won't be able to complete it, but I need to know more. Let's go until there's going to be some change in like right now the mood is very down, but they're going to be giving us a change of that sometime soon, because the game is always that way. I'm just gonna keep going, I don't care. Michi Rex met him about 15 years ago. At least the background info. At the time, it hadn't been long since I came to the shop. Enchanted in the human world, I had only begun to understand various things. Back then, the only regulars at Enchanted were myself and Canis. Or so I thought.
Michel, お前に会わせたい奴がいる。
During a time when Canis returned to media and vacated the shop, I was suddenly told this and basically forced by Soan to the front of a certain room. At his urging, I entered the room with him. The inside was lonely with no lights on, and he was there. On the bed, as though trying to protect his own body, with sheets all the way up to his head, there was a young man with eyes cast downward. When I saw the wings of mixed white and black on his back sticking out from the sheets, I instantly understood what kind of being he was. I sought an explanation from Soan, and he spoke with a difficult expression. In summary, shortly before I first came to the shop, he was found sitting in front of the gate. He was injured and unable to look the other way. Soan took him into his care. And for some reason, he had kept his existence hidden from myself and Canis until today.
見ての通り、何をしても話しかけても一切反応しねえんだ。悪魔と天使ってなんかほら関わりがありそうなイメージだろ。今のままじゃ回復の見込みもなくてな。けど悪魔っぽいお前ならなんか話を聞けるんじゃねえかと思ってよ。
そんな適当な理由で？というか俺、正確には悪魔じゃないんですけど。
What do you mean? You're Demon King. However, in the end, I was forced by Soan to stand in front of the fallen angel, and I reluctantly tried speaking to him.
はじめまして。そうピクリともしないんだけど、これじゃどうしようもなくない？
そうは言うが、これでもマシになった方なんだぞ。少し前までは近づくだけで怯えるようなありさまだったからな。
I see. So this is why you didn't introduce Canis and I to him until now. I understand, but Soan still shows no sign of letting me go, so I try speaking again.
それじゃあさ、君の名前は？俺の名前はミシェルって言うんだけど。
His body shook slightly, however, he still didn't open his mouth.
もしかして名前がないの？名前のない天使、まさか断罪の天使か。
Oh, sorry for the late explanation. Normally, angels don't have emotions. If they gain emotions, they become fallen angels. Even I know that much. Also, in Calm, there's the Angel of Judgment, a being known as the strongest of the weapons, serving as execution of fallen angels. For some reason, while not outright hostile, as often told in the human world, angels have a strange dislike of demonkind, at least according to the rumors. I've been gathering such information so as not to be taken by surprise in the case of a sudden encounter. Anyway, back to the story. The art is cured. Ah! In surprise, I stooped down to peer into his hidden face. I was shocked. There was nothing in the expression of his face to manifest emotion. The only thing there was dark and clouded despair in his eyes. As I was bewildered, our gazes met. Then from his lips I noticed a slight movement. Oh?
Ai.
I tried to ask what he meant, but there was no reply. Afterwards, he only repeated this. Something like a broken doll would do. When I saw him like this, I couldn't help but feel pain in my chest. I can't quite describe it, but in the past I too despaired. I rejected the state of human existence. My state at the time overlapped with him to a painful degree. So without thinking...
彼のこと少し俺に任せてもらっていいかな
I had made such a proposal before I knew it. It was easy enough to say, but all that awaited me afterwards was difficulty and emptiness. No matter what me or Soan said, or tried to care for him, his response was reliably zero. What is love? All he did was repeat these words. What is love?
Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. No more.
He's a fallen angel. He should have gained a heart. Yet no matter how much time passed, no emotion other than despair sprouted within him. As I repeated the same thing every day, even I started to give up. For a change of pace, I went out into town, still racking my brain for a solution. Just then I happened to pass in front of a certain game shop. There was a strangely flashy video playing on the advertisement TV, so I stopped without thinking. What was playing there was...
Otome game.
I wonder what that even was and reached for a nearby flyer. I normally have no interest at all in this and would immediately leave, but it's a genre dealing with love, the thing that Fallen Angel is so fixated on. The words evoke emotions and the characters react with expression changes. My eyes freeze on that. It's possible that he doesn't even know how to show emotions with facial expressions. Oh. On such a casual whim, I decided to buy the game with the console and gift it to him.
じゃあここ置いとくね。操作は今説明した通りだから。気が向いたらプレイしてみてよ。
Although getting him to pick it up would be the biggest problem, night was approaching, so I did the bare minimum setup and explanation before leaving the room.
異例を確認、言語解析。ありがとう。あなたのおかげで私は真実な愛を知ることができました。この男はこの短時間でそれを演算開始。エラーデータの取得優先度を変更。この男の各ステータスを数値化、行動傾向を観察。演算を再開。演算完了。一致率 87%。人格データのトレース完了。以降より精度を上げるために繰り返しの演算を重ねます。
The next morning, at the same time I was stifling a yawn and walking into the shop. An unprecedented shout of astonishment from Soan echoed out. Thinking something happened, I rushed into the shop and was dumbfounded. There, humming a tune and sitting at the counter with game console in hand, was the fallen angel. It was shocking enough for him to have come out of his room, and yet... As I stood there dumbfounded, he faced me and gave me a graceful greeting.
何これどうなってんの
そりゃこっちのセリフだ。朝来たら当たり前のようにこの状態で座ってやがったんだよ。昨日こいつに最後に会ったのはお前だろう。なんか
何かって別に何も。ちょっとそれ貸して。
I snatched away the game console he was holding and peered at the screen with Soan.
これが私の探していた品です。まさかこんな希少なものを見つけてもらえるとは。
There, I saw the figure of a man with the exact same smile that the fallen angel before my eyes was making. I had a bad feeling as he turned to face us as we gushed cold sweat.
はじめまして。私はイルファド・デリエと申します。
The fallen angel stated his name with a smile. That moment, I cursed my yesterday self for acting so carelessly. That's right. The Otome game I gave him was a story of a man and woman realizing their love. The thing he sought most was love, and he saw the character obtain it. Thus he had a misunderstanding that if he became the same being, he could also know love. And in the span of only one night, he copied that personality. Haha, yeah. I wouldn't be who I am without this game, huh? I guess Eel took killing a character to a whole other level. As Misha spoke in a self-depreciating way, all we could do as we sat in our seats was answer with silence. In a corner of the shop. No, his eyes! His eyes lost all color, with pure white wings and eyes lacking any light in them, focusing on nothing. An angel with a face expressing no emotion who lost his heart. Eel sits absent-mindedly in a chair.
先の話にあったが、打天使とは何らかの原因で感情を取得。結果、罪人扱いされた個体を指すようだな。
In that case, does that mean Eel had real emotions? With my question, Monsieur shows incomplete agreement. How much was imitation and how much was his own emotions? That's something that in the end we never figured out and ended up in this situation.
確かだったのはただ一つ。イルが異常なまでに愛という感情にこだわり知りたがっていたこと。
イルが乙女ゲームに就寝していたのも、それが根本にあるため、感情というデータの収集。すべては愛を理解するための行動だったということか。
Misha feebly agrees with her that's right and does an about face. That's another typo. God fucking damn. He clenches his fists and I can tell without looking at his face that he's quietly boiling inside with anger. The target of that rage is unmistakable, the one who opposed us of the same race as Eel. It's towards the angel Solitus, a young man who worked as Mikado's assistant. His true identity was an angel targeting Eel sent from the heavenly world. He called himself the Apostle of the Oracle. Beach.
俺、無感情って感覚がよくわかんないけど、でも、イルがいろいろと足りてない理由がそれだって言うなら、なんとなく納得はいく。
He was trying.
場の空気や言葉の真意が読めない、悲しみみたいな繊細な感情を理解できない。それもそこが。
I wonder if that is what the Queen saw as well.
そして
That he's empty.
そんな過去を持ったイルを庇護しようと、誰よりも過保護になっていたのだな。
I guess.
真実を隠してたことは悪かったと思ってる。どんなことがきっかけで彼がすがるように得た心や人格が破壊されてしまう。
Oh, we just have to teach him again. Somehow. Suddenly, Akaria makes a painful
人格
face.
と感情を放棄したって聞いたけど、それじゃあ今のイルはどうなってるの？本当に人形になっちゃったの？笑ったり、それこそ何かを喋ったりすることもできないの？
Because that smile on the roof was definitely real. My heart freezes. He won't smile anymore? Eel? The one who would smile so much every day? I just can't believe it, so I hurriedly walk over to Eel. Eel, this is all just a joke, right? Oh, I know, there's a bunch of things I wanted you to help with today, so... The words I was desperately stringing together aren't even noticed by Eel with an inorganic face. Eel, all I can make a hoarse voice is next to me. Ignis stands up forcefully, violently grabs Eel by the collar and pulls him up.
ほうだ、無感情だ。ざっけんな。てめえ何をぼーっとしてやがんだ。下手くそな演技してねえで返事しやがれ。あんな気取った野郎に好き勝手言われて悔しくねえのかよ。箱入りを返上したいんじゃなかったのか。琴音の力になりてえって俺に相談したのも嘘っぱちだったのか。なんとか言えよ、おい。
イグリス、やめろ。
くそ。
Canis calls his name in a warning way, and Ignis lets go of Eel's collar. As though thrown down, Eel falls back into his chair. His arms forcefully swing down and shake like he didn't stop the impact. I'm sorry, Eel. If I didn't try to flee from Eel at that time, this might not have happened. Sadness and despair dominate my heart. Also, for not trusting him, I'm only angry and regretful at myself. His true identity is that he's the strongest weapon of Heavenly World Cam, the angel of judgment and the executioner of fallen angels. Originally, like the other angels, he had no emotions. After his fall, he imitated the personality and name of a character appearing in an Otome game. Ha ha.
ごめん。悪いけど、しばらくアンシャンテから離れる。
I don't think that's a good idea. After his brief explanation, saying only this, Misha departs looking haggard, but nobody can even try to stop him. Rindo, after seeing him off with mixed feelings, with a face just as heavy as Misha's, tries to give me an encouraging smile.
すぐには難しいかもしれないけど、今まで通りに営業している方が君にとってはいいかもしれないね。
So what do you want me to do? Just put him in a corner somewhere? Because by some unexpected chance, its personality and emotions could come back, with such final words of consideration, Rindo returned to the GPM. According to later contact from him, after that incident, it seems the disappearance suddenly stopped. GPM cleared the suspicions of Eel for the time being, searching for the Angel's goals and the abducted people, and also seemed to be conducting an inquiry into Mikado, who was the one to hire Solitus as his assistant. As for us during that time, Eel, can you stand up? Oh! I grasp his hand and gently prompt him on, and he stands up to match my movement. Then, one step, two steps, we walk as I hold his arm so he doesn't fall. As though copying me, he follows along, albeit slowly. It seems if I give him instructions or guide him, he can at least move around. By some unexpected chance, his personality could return, huh? I feel like I could break at any moment, but the possibility is the one thing barely holding me together. Oh, right, we should try talking to the others. Things like old memories, it could have some effect. Okay. Do we get any info how Kotono's friend is doing? She's apparently, I mean, they took her to the hospital right after, but she wasn't mentioned again, no? Karia, so there you were.
店内にいるとあの時のことを思い出しそうだから俺何もできなかった。あの場にいたのに全部聞いてたのに。
Well, I mean, what do you want to do against an angel?
震えて指示されたことをこなすことしかできなかった。
That's wrong. I was the one who could do nothing. You did everything you needed to do for us. You followed Misha's instructions and managed to open the gate, right? If it wasn't for you, it would have been taken away by Solitus.
でも
When Kadia sees Eel's state, his voice
感情を持
trembles.
つことが罪。なんだよそれ。意味わかんない。理不尽すぎるだろ。
Soon after getting back to the shop, Canis tells me he needs to return to media for some time to report this incident, and I see him off. Several days passed. Okay. I will take that as my cue. I said earlier that once the mood changes or something, I would stop, because obviously full entire chapter will take some time. But oh boy, that's depressing. Man. Alright. Yeah. He definitely took Wow, isn't it? I guess how much some video game could mean to you. Yeah, I think he set a new high for that. Oh god, okay. But this is it. This will be it for tonight. I post my schedule for next week as soon as I make it. Because I actually haven't finished it yet. After this, it's just going to be the same as the last few weeks, probably. We shall see. But for now, good night. Thank you very much for coming. Hope you enjoyed the game. We shall find out next time if Eel gets his emotions back somehow, or what happened to him. Hopefully, probably. Good night, thank you, and bye bye.